3,
2,
1.
action.
We are back in this bitch.
Guess who's back again.
Deric's back. Deric and Sam.
Tell a friend.
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Na na na.
Now everyone report to the. This is song. That's not the same song.
You're doing an Eminem medley, which is also fine.
I do medleys.
I'm fine with the Eminem medley. I was gonna go into the verse, but we're back.
Hi.
Your boy is finally motherfucking back, dog. I mean, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I know you guys have been getting episodes, but you know those were backlogged, and then of course Hassan and Jeffrey stole the podcast.
They killed us.
I never told them to do that. Well, they tried. They literally tied us up and they put us in basements. It was a terrible experience.
And then they made us watch it.
They made us watch the episode, which, yeah, I mean, ridiculous. I didn't like that part at all. But the torture and all that stuff was fine. I didn't like that they made us watch it.
Hurt my feelings.
We're back. Your boy's back. The podcast does not belong to them. Don't let them tell you any lies. They're just being racist.
Yep, that's it.
And that's that. But your boy's back. We had to go to Ohio. This is why the episodes have been all over the place lately.
It's crazy.
A lot going on since you've seen your boy. All right, lots been happening in your boy's life, in Sam's life. Shit's been going down. We had to go to a funeral. My Aunt Nina's still alive. Hassan is an asshole.
He killed Aunt Nina.
He killed Aunt Nina. Hey, Aunt Nina's thriving out here.
We didn't need to kill both of your aunts.
Come on, guys.
That's too much.
Can I keep one? Can I keep one?
You actually have a lot more than 2 aunts.
I know, but the ones I lived with.
Yeah, she lived with both of those.
I lived with both of those, so it's a little different, a little more personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hassan.
So also, you met both of them numerous times, so you know that there's a difference. That's it ain't like Hassan's like, oh, I only met him once. No, you've met them multiple times, 3 or 4 times, for both of them. So, but anyway, Aunt Nina's still doing fine. My dear, sweet Aunt Tammy passed away. She was the best. She was the one who let me stay on her couch in San Diego and, took your boy in when I decided I wanted to do stand-up comedy. So that was a really cool, big thing for me, that she did that. She didn't have to do that. I was only a year. I hadn't even been doing comedy a year yet, and she let your boy, I asked if I can move out. And before I even finished the question, she was like, get on out here.
Get on out.
And she was just a really fun, awesome person. And you could tell by the funeral how special she was. She
had a heart of a stand-up as well.
She definitely had the heart of a stand-up. She was super funny, super fun. Got everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She's one of those kind of people. And she was just the best. She was just the absolute best person. So I do miss her a lot, and I think about her all the time. Rest in peace, Aunt Tammy. I love you so much. So yeah, we were there for that in Ohio. And then we wanted to spend time with my mom because that was my mom's best friend and favorite sister. And I didn't want my mom to be alone after that. It's a lot to lose someone.
Gosh,
like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who you spent your whole life with, And so we were like, we all don't want my mom to be alone. So we go to Tucson. So you know what I'm saying? So that's why. So episodes are now we're like, well, we can't film. We're not filming.
Yeah.
And then, of course, while we're hanging out in Tucson, your boy gets the Andrew Schultz Infamous tour dates.
He gets the call.
I get a call. Your boy gets a call. You know what I'm saying? And that was fucking really dope. It was cool to experience that. It was cool to, this is how dope it was. Because he called and asked me if, I was in Austin. And I was like, no, family member passed. I'm in Arizona right now. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I don't hear anything. And then I get a call from Andrew. And I'm like, yo, what up, bro? And he's like, yo, man, sorry to hear about your family member passing. And I was like, oh, yeah, it sucks, bro. Life's crazy. And then literally maybe a breath he takes. And then he's like, so I got these shows in Dallas and Houston. What you trying to do, And I realized, yeah, that's what I'll immediately stop grieving for money.
Is it money or is it for amazing stage time?
Amazing stage time, money, and all the success. Yeah, that is true. And all the fun things that come with it, and hanging out with the next greatest comedian alive. He's going to be on, this fucking tour, man. This weekend, Friday, I'll be in Detroit. Saturday, I'll be in Milwaukee. Next week, I'll be in San Diego with Andrew, and then I'll be in all the Texas dates for the taping. So if you're a listener and you want any of the September dates on the infamous tour, Andrew Schultz, go to andrewschultz.com. Most of the cities are sold out, but there's a couple cities. Go ahead and get those tickets. Your boy's on the tour. All right, so definitely do that. But I got the call, and then all of a sudden now I'm out on the road. So that's why the podcast has been coming, like it's been coming sporadically because I wasn't planning on this, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're gonna have to go back to 1 episode a week. I'll still give you 2 sometimes, but we got to go back to 1. And that's what we were doing before the pandemic. I don't want you guys looking at me being all spoiled and like, oh, what the fuck? I thought we were gonna get 2 a week. Yeah, you were gonna get 2 a week.
You don't be spoiled beans.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Thank you. But you were getting 2 a week because I wasn't on fucking tour. I wasn't on a tour. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing stand-up every single night when I wasn't on tour. You know what I'm saying? Preparing to make sure I'm sharp for this fucking tour. Like, there's some things that happen. You know what I'm saying? When we were doing the pandemic, of course, we could do 2 episodes a week.
There was nothing else to do.
There was nothing else to fucking do. So, yeah, we could give you 2 episodes a week constantly. And then also, I mean, you guys came through with the bonus episodes. You guys came through, Will Peacock, and then all of a sudden, all of you came through and bought all the episodes. Sadly, we're not doing that anymore. I'm going to finish everyone's movie.
We're still going to honor all the episodes that we've already accepted.
We're clearly going to honor all the episodes all you guys will get your movie. And sometimes there'll be 2 a week. Don't get me wrong. A lot of times there will be 2 a week just because we got to get through those as well. So, but you're going to get 1 a week always. That's what I'm going to guarantee you is 1 a week always. Because like the old guarantee. Because the 2 a week is just when this was dropped on me, and then all these other opportunities are coming towards me. So I want to make sure, I want to keep the podcast alive. I don't want to lose it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love doing it. So, and we're definitely not going to lose it. I'm doing Spoil the Beans forever. It's too much fun. I love doing it too much to ever fucking let you guys go. So, and we're growing. Oh my God, you guys are telling people. It's fucking awesome.
You guys are the best.
Amazing. But your boy has to go to 1 a week. And then we'll do 2, and then I'm gonna finish all the ones that everybody paid for in the order they're paid for. Some people paid extra, and those are the people who are gonna go first, and then the people who just paid the normal 100, you're gonna get it. And we're not. And to everyone else who's like, oh damn, I was gonna do it because a lot of you, I had to turn down like 5 people already, and I understand. I'm sorry. I know that you wanted your movie done. I know. We're gonna maybe do it again. We're definitely going to do it again.
We just want to catch up because there's a lot of people who have purchased movies and we're just so far behind.
And we're too busy. And so
it's
now
not
that we're
fair
going down
to you
1
guys.
a week, it's like, oh well, we never get to.
Yeah.
If we just keep letting you back, and also I would never get to tell the movies to people that I want to tell.
Yeah, he has his own movies he likes.
There's movies I like as well, guys.
It's not just about y'all.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for just fucking getting in their ass today.
Yo, they just be spoiled beans.
Sometimes I don't want to get on, but you can feel it from the other side of the camera.
I can feel it. You're not even here yet. You're not even hearing this, but I can feel you.
Thank you, boo.
Some time warp stuff.
So I want to tell movies that I want to tell, and then I want to have guests on to tell movies that I want to tell. And so we want to get and we're doing okay enough now. And oh my God, the surprises we have in store for you guys after my birthday. Just know if things keep going the way they're going, just know Spoil the Beans will be different.
Also, his birthday is October 25th.
October 25th.
You just said it like they all knew.
October 25th. And hey, that day, if you want to fuck with your boy that day, hit me up in the Venmo and the Cash App.
Just put it in your calendar. Send him a message.
Send me $1, bro.
I'm going to forget, so someone should say something.
If everybody send me $1 from the Bean family, your boy has a great birthday. Me and Sam can have an unbelievable little birthday vacation.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be insane.
So that's, if you want to do something, if you want, I know I don't have a Patreon and all that, and then we're not doing the bonus episodes anymore. So if you want to support us in any kind of way, because we're eventually going to get ads and do that whole thing. Bro, I'm telling you guys, after my birthday, we're leveling up on Spoil the Beans. But for now, we're still rocking it. We're still giving it to you old school, raw, gritty like this. You know what I'm saying? Where we do the editing and we do everything. You know? But just know, Spoil the Beans is about to level up. But yeah, we're going down to 1 a week. I'm going to honor every single one of you that paid for a movie, and I'm going to do your movie, obviously, of course. Don't even question that. I got you. I would never hurt you like that.
Never.
And we're going to still give you 2 weeks sometimes. And I love you guys. Thanks we needed money, and you guys came through. When we needed money,
Every time.
Every time we've
when
ever
I needed
money,
to get my wisdom teeth removed, it was y'all who took care of that.
Yeah. Because it's like I didn't have the idea. Will Peacock is the one who had the idea for the fucking. I mean, we had the idea to keep it going, but it was his like, hey, I'll pay $100 for you to do this movie, and it was like, oh, and then I put it in the universe, and then you guys fucking delivered, man. You fucking paid our rent and kept us afloat. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. We love you guys. You guys are the shit. Thank y'all so much. And I just wanted to let y'all know what was going on. I didn't want y'all to not know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like why the episodes coming out different days and all this shit. It's like because we got busy. We got try to sidetrack.
He doesn't keep a calendar.
I don't have to keep a calendar. And also I wasn't expecting to go on not only was I not expecting my aunt to pass away and us to have to go away for 2 weeks. We went away for 2 weeks because
we were gone for a long time.
And then immediately on the tour.
Yep.
Because it happened at the end of that vacation. Immediately on the tour. You know, like it was just a whole. We just hadn't been able to get to you guys. So,
but we were thinking of you.
We're thinking of you and your boys back, and that's why Hassan and Jeffrey filled in, and I do love them. I appreciate that. That Jew and that terrorist. I do appreciate that they did that.
Wait, which one's which?
Who knows, Sam? Who fucking
knows?
But yeah, bro, it's good to fucking be back. Before we get into the movie, real quick, we have to just discuss one thing. One thing, Sam.
What?
Certified Lover Boy.
Oh.
Is so much better than Donda. I don't even compare them.
You know what? I was with you up until last night when you and Hassan were out on the porch talking, and I was sitting here playing Sudoku.
Yeah, and Donda
you
was
had Donda
playing.
You had Donda playing, and I was like, yo, this album does slap.
No way.
Dead serious.
The whole album?
Dude,
there's so many
all
snips.
Weekend we've been talking about how much better Certified Lover Boy is. But
it is.
But you know what? You know what it is? I was listening too hard to Donda before. I was too focused. Last night, I was chilling on the couch. I was playing my Sudoku. And my subconscious was listening to Donda. And I was like, actually, this is really good.
That's because I get what you're saying. It's musical. It's sonically different because
it's sonically
Kanye.
different.
But whereas Drake, you have to listen. It's the lyrics. It's what he's saying. It's always about what Drake's saying.
But also, some of the shit that Kanye was saying, I was like, yo, Kanye.
Yo, but did you listen to the whole? Because
no, I did not listen to the whole album.
Thank you.
It's really long.
And there's too many songs.
It's too long.
Sorry, but for me, there's too many songs. Bro, there's 6 good songs on it.
I think the thing about Donda is it's one of those albums. You remember, now I don't know if this was everyone's experience in college, but people would there'd always be like a smoke circle, and people would be like maybe talking, but there would always be like an album kind of playing in the background.
Facts, yeah.
That's what Donda is. Donda is great background music.
It's like Pink Floyd or some shit.
It's just bringing you a vibe to generally get through.
I mean,
do I want to listen to it when I'm doing something? Oh, damn, I missed it. Oh, she's got a puppy too. Yeah, she's got it all.
Walk by out the window, a nice juicy booty. College booty.
College booty.
So much college booty out here.
So much college booty.
It's insanity. But no, Donda is sonically, you're never going to no one's going to beat Kanye West. The only person who can even compete is Dr. Dre. We all, I think, can agree with that. Yeah?
Yes.
That Kanye is the greatest producer of all time. Dr. Dre is a close second.
Yes, I think Travis Scott is coming up.
Travis Scott's a young buck on his way up, but but then again, we're talking about. I'm putting these Dr. Dre and Kanye over like Sam, Pharrell, Timbaland.
Dude,
there's other people here.
Yo, when Pharrell be on a track,
it's insanity. But I still say Kanye's number one, and I still say Dr. But
I don't know.
That's why Travis Scott's a young buck. When
you said Pharrell, I was like, dude.
You think Pharrell over Kanye?
Pharrell's definitely in the top 3.
I didn't say that, but I say Kanye is number 1. I'm saying Kanye makes the best sonically sounding music. I will give him that.
Yes.
Ever. Because Kanye also changes his sound, and Kanye does it for himself. Kanye does it like
that's true.
And not that Pharrell doesn't either, but Pharrell only does that. Kanye is also one of the greatest rappers.
But Pharrell's coming so what we're saying about Kanye though is that Kanye is making the sounds and the vibes that you're looking for, and not necessarily the lyrics and the upbeat energy that Drake is bringing.
But
I would say
Pharrell does write the
Pharrell.
lyrics and brings the songs.
That's
so
true. But I would say Pharrell with the banger status, he's coming at pop like Drake is.
True. and I'm not saying Pharrell hasn't changed music in his own way, and neither has Timbaland, but Kanye changes music before. Kanye gives you 808s and heartbreaks, which doesn't change music till years later. Like Kanye, and he did that with Yeezus. He's done that with Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He's done that with College Dropout. Kanye is the future.
That's true. And also, I would say Pharrell is at his best with someone else.
Kanye's Kanye.
Kanye doesn't need anyone else.
Which is why I would say Dr. Dre's too, because Dr. Dre can make anyone like Dr. Dre is like, yo, give me this Eminem kid, I'll make him like Dr. Give me 50 Cent, I'll make like Dr. Dre is on some other shit. But I still say Kanye won.
Kanye, yeah, you're right.
You know.
So Certified Lover Boy versus Donda. That's what we started at.
And I'm gonna say Certified Lover Boy is a better album. Would you not say it's a better album?
Yes, it's a better album. I don't really like long albums in general.
No.
So it's hard for me to get into Donda in the first place. Certified Lover Boy is just like almost every song I want to listen to, and the songs that I'm not totally into, you've been playing, and I'm like, actually, that's not a bad song. So the songs that I'm not into have grown on me the way the regular songs I'm into on Donda have started to grow on me. So
interesting.
I would say, generally, Certified Lover Boy is better.
It's a better album, and this is what I'm gonna say. Drake, as far as artistry goes, he's only competing with Michael Jackson.
He said this a couple different ways, a couple different times. Like the other day, he was saying melodically, Drake is only coming like Michael Jackson.
Drake comes with the best melodies.
Inaccurate.
And this is another thing I'm gonna say. What is inaccurate? Oh my God. This is what I wanted to say though before you brought up that, because that wasn't even the point I was gonna say on here.
I know that wasn't the point, but you said it yesterday, and it's really bothered me ever since.
Well, I was right.
You say whatever you say. This is your show.
I'll give you the melody thing. I'll give you the melody thing. Maybe I was wrong on that. I'll give you that. But this is what I'm going to say. This is what my point was about why Drake is better and why Drake is only competing with Michael Jackson. Drake, a lot of people, when they listen to rap, and this is the problem when people listen to Drake, they go, a lot of people say, oh, not enough bangers, because they look at the singing, they don't like the singing songs. They don't like the slow songs. So they go, oh, there was like too many slow songs or whatever the fuck. But what they're forgetting is that there is a large, gigantic section of people, and this is why Drake's numbers are so big, is because they're not coming to Drake for the bangers. Their bangers are the slow songs.
Yeah, but you're equating slow songs with singing, and that is not what is happening.
No. I'm not. I'm equating the slow songs that he does sing on his slow songs.
He does sing on his slow songs.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's not that, because it's not, they're two different problems. The slow song, because he sings on his bangers too.
He'll sing on a banger.
You're making it out to be like singing is slow.
No.
That's not true.
I'm making it out to be, the slow song, like okay, this album for example, the song like a lot of people might not like In Too Deep. A lot of people might not like Pipe Down. A lot of people might not like the going along with your friends, like, because it's that Drake, it's that slow, like that super slow, and he's done that on every album. But this is what my point was. It's just like another large group, a majority of people, as you can see with how many numbers he does, view those songs as the bangers. That's what people don't understand. Because a lot of people view bangers as one thing. They view bangers as it has to be this like bump. Whereas what makes Drake so special is that his bangers, just as much as he gives you the bump bangers, he gives you these bangers of these crazy Adele level slow songs, like these Ed Sheeran level, like that no rapper. But to me, they're better. I like Drake's slow stuff better than Ed Sheeran, better than Rihanna, better than Beyonce's slow stuff, better than anyone's slow stuff. You know what I'm saying? That is my point. Is that Drake does not get enough credit for his super slow songs and like his super like heartfelt songs, because everybody's just like, oh, he sings it, and it's like, yo, they're crazy. They're crazy. The level of banger he puts out for his slow songs, and then of course he puts out these started from the bottom level bangers. These no new industry friends. You know what I'm saying? Knife Talk.
Yeah.
Like that shit. It's like that's why I say he's only compared to Michael Jackson, and he's only like competing with Michael Jackson because no other artist can do that.
Well, yeah, I will say I agree with that. Because also within the ones that you quote unquote or say are people assume are the bangers, the ones that are coming harder, there's the songs that kind of pull from a more trap background versus a traditional pop rap background. And I think those are the two kind of energies that people equate with being bangers for Drake. And then the songs you're talking about are just slower songs, which aren't necessarily pulling from either of those backgrounds.
No. I'm talking about just exactly the songs that you know, that you hear me listen to all the time. I mean, my favorite Drake song is Jungle.
Yeah, that's more of a... Has that... It has much more like just a lyrical kind of...
It's like a lyrical, just a thing over a piano almost. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. And it's like, that's what I mean about Drake. It's like, yo, Drake is coming like an artist from the 50s or something, like some slow piano singing dude, and he's coming like, but also he's coming up with you with who else is making Hold On We're Going Home and One Dance and started from the bottom and No Industry Friends, and like the that's why I don't like when people are like, oh, he has no range. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He has as much range as Kanye has sonically, producing wise. Drake has with his voice and what he can do.
And producing the things that all those songs, the beats are very different.
Well, that's not Drake producing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 40.
But the choices are similar.
Absolutely, his choices are amazing.
I think when people say they don't like it, it's because they're coming to him expecting him to be a Future, a Rick Ross,
and he gives you those songs.
2 Chainz, where he gives you those songs.
He gave you Way
but
Too Sexy.
They're expecting like constant, like, I want this energy from Drake, and Drake is multidimensional.
Yeah, Drake's
which is also what Kanye's doing.
Yes, of course.
But like it's
Drake's album's tighter. It's just more. It's a start to finish, more complete.
It is way tighter. Yeah.
He knew exactly what he wanted to do with this album, and this is the songs for this album. This is the style he wanted for this album. You know.
Yeah, Donda's more just a journey. Like you kind of.
But that's not true.
It's
Life
like a
of Pablo
long
was a
dream.
journey, but I like the journey of Life of Pablo.
Well, Life of Pablo is perfect.
But it was
that
a journey.
might be the best album he's ever done.
I don't know about that, but
I
it was a
really
journey.
think that.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Graduation was.
Of course, Graduation.
12 songs,
but it's like
perfect.
we're expecting those first albums to be perfect because he has all of his career up until then to work on that material.
The third one, Sam, it was not his first. It was the third one.
I know, but I'm talking about like Life of Pablo. Like is long past the time where you expect an artist to be still putting out relevant music.
Yeah, but then but if that's the case, what is Jay-Z like?
Well, we've already talked about Jay-Z and how Jay-Z is just like, well, the stay power of Jay-Z is crazy and constantly doing what he wants and it's still being relevant. Yeah, because it's like no one was looking for the 444 album, and then he put it out and it was like that's exactly what we needed.
That's what we needed. It followed up Beyonce's album Lemonade perfectly. The only person I'd say that's even close to Jay-Z is Kenny. Kung Fu Kenny.
Kung Fu Kenny. Well, Kung Fu Kenny is coming for everyone.
It's coming for everyone. But I'd say, but you can't. The reason none of these rappers like J. Cole, Kendrick, everybody's like Kendrick's the greatest, and I'll agree with you. Kendrick maybe is the greatest rapper, probably. They can't. The reason that nobody can come for Drake is because Drake does something none of them can do.
Drake's making a pop album.
Drake can do that, and then Drake's also like, oh, but when it comes to rap, if we're talking best rappers, I'm what, top 2, top 3. You know what I'm saying?
But that's also
that's why it's like, God,
that's why
damn.
People want to put Kanye up against Drake. And you know how we always talk about the bark versus the meow meow,
well,
and
Jeffrey
people.
Does.
Well, Jeffrey does. That's Jeffrey's theory on life. Yeah. But I've listened to it. Drake is bark to Kanye's meow meow, and vice versa. They're like inverse of each other.
Because Drake's all meow meow. I mean, Drake is a cat. Drake is a
cat, but he be barking. And Kanye's a dog, but he be meowing.
Yeah, they're but that's why they're such beautiful artists.
Yeah, they're great.
Because they're both, so that. Whereas Jay-Z is just like, yo, I am a dog.
Oh yeah, Jay-Z's all dog.
There is no cats around me.
All bark. No, there's cats around him.
Beyonce,
yeah.
But Beyonce's not a regular cat. Beyonce's like a lion, so it's
she is a lioness.
You know what I mean? It's like, I guess this is a cat. But this cat is 250 pounds and will kill everybody. You know?
That is totally Beyonce.
It's definitely Beyonce. So,
have you guys listened to the albums yet?
I hope you guys have listened to the albums, or else this conversation meant nothing. And if you're like, oh man, I don't listen to rap and I don't listen to all that, it's like, well, you know what? That's how I feel about what your opinion is. You have no opinion on this. To the people who also hit me up, who were like, so many people hit me up with an opinion, and then you can tell they haven't listened to, like, you don't listen to this kind of music. So you
just listen to it all.
Huh?
Just listen to it.
No, I'm saying, like, the people hit me up and you can tell, like, oh, you don't listen to, like, they're like, oh man, none of this stuff fucks with like Method Man and Redman, and it's like, hey, First off, I love Method Man and Redman.
But you're out of the game.
You're out of this conversation.
You checked out.
You checked out.
You checked out years ago.
Yeah. So you checked out before 50 Cent came along.
Yeah, it's like, yo.
You have no opinion. You weren't around for fucking like the blow up and fall, the blow up and fall of Nelly. So you get no say. It's interesting
to me, people who want to act like older is better. Just because the new comes from the old. They're like, well, then the original is clearly the best.
As if their thing didn't come from something, which is
that's bullshit.
Even more annoying.
It's crazy.
Whatever your thing is, it came from something else.
It's like acting like Dave Chappelle is nothing because Richard Pryor came before him.
And it's like, well, okay.
Well, what?
Well, what are we talking about then? LeBron sucks because Michael Jordan.
Oh.
He sucks? So he sucks because of Michael Jordan. He's not even, can't play basketball.
Okay.
But see, and that's what I mean about when people say those kind of things of like, oh, none of these guys. It's like, well, now we can't have a conversation.
It's also very like limiting. It's very telling of the person who says that because it's very like, telling. Oh, you're not flexible. You can't move with the times. You're stuck in an era.
You're stuck in, because also you don't realize you love, let's say Method Man, I'm using them as an example. You love that. And I saw Drake say this in an interview and it was great. He was like, people who always ask me to be like, yo, hey Drake, do another mixtape like So Far Gone or give us another Take Care. And he's like, hey, I can't put you back in that moment when that album came out and you were in that space in your life with that girlfriend and that apartment and those dreams and the person who passed away or whatever. Like, I can't take you back. I can't take you back there.
All you can do is go forward.
I can go forward, you can come forward with me, or you can stay there if you want. And that's what I'm saying to those guys. It's like, that's exactly what you guys are. It's like, hey, if you want to stay in the era of like, hey, 1990 was the greatest, and keep rewatching Shawshank Redemption, and it's like, yo, do that. But let me just say, you're missing out on movies like Get Out.
The Departed.
You're missing out on the people who miss that, like, I can't even deal with those. The people who are so far back, it's like, I can't even deal with you.
You said, Shawshank, and I'm like, well, Shawshank's pretty far back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I love Shawshank, but it's like my point was that the movie Get Out has come out. Like,
yeah, we're in a new
Parasite,
world.
Other movies. Hey, let me tell you something. They're just as good. I hate to break it to you. I'm sorry. Movies are still everything is still just as good. Music, movies, comedy, art.
You're the one who's changed.
You.
Or who refuses
to change. Refuses.
Well, also, it's like you have changed because then you were in the moment.
You liked Michael Jordan so much, and you like whoever, your artist, you're 100% right, because it was happening in the now.
But you refuse to be in the moment now. So really, actually, you have changed because you're no longer living in the moment.
You still want that. You still want that time when Michael Jordan was winning 6 championships and Tupac and Biggie were the best rap. You want that moment back. It was I get it. That was a cool moment for you.
But you can have that. You can have that just as much by living in the present moment. And the present moment is the only constant.
And this is what annoys me. The present moment. LeBron is okay. Kendrick Lamar, they're great. If you let yourself be in this moment, you'll be like, oh, these guys are pretty fucking good too. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, this is exciting.
Lamar Jackson.
This is exciting. This is exciting.
It's exciting. It's new. It's different. Why do we like?
And you know what? It's still pretty good. That's the thing. It's like it's still just as good as the thing back then.
Yes.
It's not like LeBron plays basketball and it's like not as good as Mike. It's just as good.
Just as good.
If now, is it better? Arguments for another day. But the people who just don't even want to like live in the now.
Well, yeah, and also people want to make it's better or worse because we have ways of rating and giving value to things. But there's so many value markers to say that like winning rings is better than winning games or overall,
MVPs
or all these other things. Well, where's the weight really?
Yeah.
It doesn't how can we really even compare anyone? Everyone's life is different.
Sam's really talking facts. How can you compare anyone? Everyone's life is so different. Like Dave Chappelle isn't out here beating his wife and shooting his car. Like, so to compare him to Richard Pryor, it's like, yo, they're not even the same person. They didn't live. Dave Chappelle's not living like that. He ain't doing cocaine and smoking crack and like, you know what I'm saying? Like he is a different person.
It's a different person. Just because he's influenced by that person doesn't mean he has to be a photocopy of them. I'm
so influenced by Dave. People tell me all the time, but I do think the reason people fuck with me and like what I do is because it's like, I'm not Dave.
No, you're just...
on stage. I'm Deric.
You're just, you're Deric, but with having seen Dave. There's no way to...
growing up with this person.
Yeah, there's no way to avoid that.
Yeah, I grew up on him. Because it's like, yo, take stand up out of it. Or just about any of my other friends or anyone in our life, our age of life, you're influenced by Dave Chappelle.
Or any like comedic or however you're influenced by
whatever
it is that pressed on your life, it's gonna leave an impression.
Yeah. And it just so happens now if you end up growing up and then doing that same artistry for a living, it'll be noticeable. You'll be like, oh, that's where, you know. But if I was just a football coach, I would still be influenced by Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he still would have the same influence on my life because I loved stand up before I got into it already. I was already a fan. But yeah, the people who don't want to grow. And I'm saying that we're saying all this to say,
we love you.
Lover boy.
Oh, uncertified lover boy.
Pregnant women. That's the only thing I didn't like was the album cover. But you know what?
I wish
it's growing on me. The more I see it, it grows on me. It's
I
weird.
like it. I wish there were more differentiations in the women. They're all like
just straight up emojis. It's straight up.
They're straight up emojis, but all the emojis are the same. There's only like 3 races really represented, and then they all have different color shirts on.
Yeah, it's kind of bitches Drake likes.
That's true.
You know. And we'll be right back. Hey. This is an ad. That's what this break in the movie is for, because it's an ad. Hi guys, my name's Deric Poston.
And I'm Sam Lopez.
And you like t-shirts?
I hope you do, because
we got on the best t-shirts you'll ever find. Hidden Village Customs. I'll do the Sam. Why don't you go show them and I'll do the ad?
Okay, you do that.
Hidden Village Customs, guys. The best shirts since shirts were made. Our boy Gabe makes these amazing shirts. They're literally awesome. He crosses anime with real life, and it's fucking amazing. Like, this shirt is Hey Arnold mixed with me and Sam doing the podcast literally on this couch while also wearing shirts of Hidden Village Customs. That's how meta this fucking shirt is.
And also in the shirt that I'm wearing on mine, the shirt we're wearing in that is also another Hidden Village Custom shirt. See how like
I know
I'm wearing a shirt and then inside that's another. It's gonna be.
I want it to keep going. So we want at some point it to just keep they just keep going and going and going and going, and it's just a million pictures inside a million pictures.
So buy their shirts because then they'll keep sending us shirts.
Yep, buy their shirts, guys. Hidden Village Customs, www.hiddenvillagecustoms.com. They make amazing shit. I seriously, the Sam already washed them. They don't shrink. The print doesn't fade. That's my favorite part of it.
They're very soft.
Any shirt. They're extremely soft, great quality. Sam was wearing her Tom Brady one yesterday anyway for a show.
Yeah, I was wearing it around the house without a bra. That's the other great thing. These the square icon, like if you're like, I don't want people to see my nipples. Yeah. It prevents that.
Yep. So you can walk around without a bra, ladies.
Ladies.
That's another plus. Hidden Village Customs, guys. They're from the Bay Area. So if you're a Bay Area beaner, if you're in the Bay Area Bean Mafia crew, go show our boys some love, especially. Hidden Village Customs on all social media platforms. The best shirts in the business. The best graphic design in the business. Go hit them up. Get your shirts now from Gabe at Hidden Village Customs. Not a pedophile, just a good man selling shirts. Now he tells me to say that, which makes me wonder things. But again, he probably just wants everybody to know that he's not. But you know, who knows? Gabe, Hidden Village Customs. Go show him some love. Sam.
Yes.
I was smoking some weed earlier.
Yeah, you were.
And I only smoke one weed.
It's the best weed.
And that's Happy Canary.
Happy Canary.
Happy Canary, guys. Best weed since weed.
Since weed.
Guys, they're a wholesale company run by our boy Gabe. Now, you can't buy from them. That's not their thing. What they do is they sell to other dispensaries. So I'm just supporting them. You know?
Follow them on
Instagram, though. Happy Canary. HappyCanary. CANARY, and you tell them the Bean sent you. Happy Canary on Instagram, guys. Happy Canary. Go show them some love. It's the best weed. That's why I smoke it. It's the only weed I smoke. Shout out to my boy Hayden. Shout out to Maine. Shout out to all the Maine Bean Mafia. Shout out to everybody in Maine who fucks with us. Shout out to her Uncle Leo who let us stay at his cabin. Maine is awesome. Weed is awesome. Happy Canary, guys. Sam? Football is upon us.
Yo, it's football season. It's about to happen. Is it preseason yet?
Almost. There's no preseason this year, I don't think.
Oh, really? I've started seeing the football players for the college around town.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice. Yeah, it gets me excited.
Seeing the Longhorns, seeing some Texas Longhorn college players. We're going to a lot of games this year, so we're really pumped. But I love football because of one man who is a war eagle.
War Eagle!
War Eagle! And that's Darren Bates. Guys, Darren Bates, he's black. He's a father. He plays in the NFL.
What more could you ask for?
What more can you ask for out of a person? And all he wants from you, he doesn't want you to buy anything. He doesn't want your money. He doesn't want your soul. All he wants is you to go to his Instagram, Darren Bates, DarenBates, at Westlandson_56. Beautiful picture of his mother. That's his profile. Blue check mark. That's him. Darren Bates. And all he wants you to do is hit the follow button.
Send him a message. Say, hey, the bean sent me.
Simple. All right? Ask for us pictures of Hassan's feet.
He's got those.
Make sure you ask for them. Guys, Darren Bates, go show him some love. Follow him, and you say the bean sent you there. And you let me know you did it. You make sure you do it. That's your one job. If you haven't done it yet, you better fucking do it.
Listen to his podcast.
Listen to his podcast, The Raw Room, guys. Available on all platforms. However you're listening to this podcast, you go listen to The Raw Room. He's had unbelievable guests. He's had Malcolm Butler on. He's had Jason Weaver, the guy who did all the original songs in The Lion King. You know what I mean? He just had Will Compton on. He just did Bussin' with the Boys. You know what I mean? Guys.
It's a cool dude.
Biggest podcast on Barstool. And my boy Darren Bates just did it. He's in the NFL. He's the fucking man. I'm so proud of him. His second career is going even better for him. The podcast is growing. He's getting better with it. The clips are coming out. Go follow The Raw Room. Go follow Darren Bates. Go show our boy some love. Back to the movie. We're back.
Oh, okay. Welcome back.
Welcome back. That was the ad.
Okay, that was it?
Well, the ad was.
You guys going to buy the stuff?
Hey, make sure you go support everything we just said, you sons of bitches, especially Darren Bates. He is king. Raw Room, listen to it. Sam, you ready for the movie today?
Let's do it.
This is a big one. This is an exciting one. I had to, because we came back and it was like, oh, I need to do the ones that people paid for. But I was also like, yo, we're not accepting anymore. So they're not going anywhere. And it's the first one back. We got to start with
your heart.
Start with my heart and a banger. We gotta come back with like, what is this podcast about?
Okay.
It's about big movies.
Oh.
That my best friends have not seen.
Ooh.
You know what? You like that you're a best friend of mine? You just realized after 6 years of dating?
It's not been 6 yet.
You don't know time.
Actually, maybe it has.
You don't know time.
I can't remember. The 2020 was such a blur.
Yeah. So exactly. 6 years. 6 years. You know, you're my homie. But my point is, nigga, this is what the podcast is about. It's about me telling my best friends a fucking super dope movie, spoiling the whole thing, and they've never seen it. Sam?
Yes.
Can you tell me what you think happens in the fucking classic? Absolute comedy classic. They only made one. That's how you know it's good. Like, they didn't fucking ruin it with a sequel. It's one of the possibly the greatest comedic actor of all time. I mean, he's definitely top 3, but you have to, if you say one, it's like, yeah, he probably is one. Sam, what happens in Liar, Liar?
Okay. Well, it's Jim Carrey.
Well, I kind of gave it away when I said.
Well, no, I already knew it was Jim Carrey because I was alive when it came out, even though I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I've seen the
advert. It was a big deal when it came out.
Yeah, it was all over TV. I can't believe I haven't seen it. Thinking back. Okay. I know the general premise is, so Jim Carrey is one of these. No, is that Yes Man? God, they're like the same movie in my mind.
You've seen Yes Man.
I've seen Yes Man. So in my mind, Liar Liar is the same movie, which is probably why I haven't seen it.
Even though it came out way first.
Yeah, but.
And it's the one people call a classic.
Was Yes Man not a classic?
Yes Man is very good, but I'm saying Liar Liar is like, it was one of
his
big
I
junts
think
in that era.
Liar, and also I confused it because there's also this one with, is it Paul Giamatti and the 2 kids with Malcolm in the Middle?
I don't know.
There's also a movie like that that's confused. So there's... this is hard. Okay, Jim Carrey, I'm going to guess, is a lawyer because they lie. And he's lying all the time. And then some Morgan Freeman type God person comes in.
Morgan Freeman type.
Always. Comes in and he's like, you need to stop lying. And he makes it impossible for him to lie. So he's constantly telling the truth. But like to a fault. Like, you know, like you look like you're pregnant. And... That was a classic 90s thing, like fat women that they said were pregnant.
Well,
that happened in every movie in the 90s.
Stop being fat, ladies.
And now,
fucking whores.
So things like that. And then he probably falls in love with some like really cute girl. And
but he's telling the truth.
But he's telling the truth, so he can't like coerce her with his lies. And that causes some drama. Like at first it's great. Like she loves him because he's telling the truth, probably. And then he tells too much of the truth.
Which can happen.
And then she like leaves him for a second. And then there's a resolution at the end where they're back together and they're in love. And then he can tell, he doesn't have to lie. He doesn't have to just tell the truth all the time because he learned his lesson. And Morgan Freeman, and Morgan Freeman gives him his ability to lie back. Yeah.
So so what you just described to me, just so we're all on the same page. Bruce Almighty with a little bit of yes man.
I don't want to say all Jim Carrey movies are the same, but everything except Ace Ventura is the same. Oh, and
you've never seen Ace Ventura?
I haven't, but I don't perceive it as that kind of movie. So there's two kinds of movies Jim Carrey does. There's a movie where Jim Carrey is like an idiot, which is Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber. All those are the Penguins one. Although the Penguins one is also kind of in this.
No, he's not really in it either.
And then there's the idea.
Popper's Penguins,
then there's the Jim Carrey movies where Jim Carrey is like overly successful, kind of like the rom-coms where the woman can't get a man because she's just too obsessed with her career.
You ever seen Fun with Dick and Jane?
I have seen that one.
He's not successful in that one. That was the point of that one.
That was actually a good one. Yeah,
that was a good one too.
But there's the movies where Jim Carrey's like overly successful to a fault, and then he has. Or not successful, but he's working too hard. You know what I mean? So then he's being brought back to reality by a god figure or like some kind of like magical thing, kind of like Click is, Yeah. And he learns his lesson. So those are the two kinds of Jim Carrey movies.
Comedies involved with magic like that, or like you said, I'm sorry, but what you just said, comedies involved with that is always pretty good.
Because even though his serious ones are like that, like the one with the Titanic with Rose, where they.
Fun with Dick and Jane?
No, maybe you've not seen this movie.
What's the name of it?
The one, I don't want to say what it happens in it.
What's the name of the movie?
I can't remember. It's a weird name. It's like Brightness, Eternal Sunshine.
Kind of a Spotless Mind?
Yeah, it was in that movie. Okay.
Even that's not a comedy.
It's not, but even that falls into one of these. It falls into the category of like this sort of like learning his lesson by. By magical interaction.
He does do a lot of that, but I didn't think about it till now. I think magical interaction with comedy works really well.
Oh, it's amazing. That's the best way.
It really works well because it just gives you something simple, and now you can base the rest of your comedy off of that.
And also, to say magical, it's such a broad term because even in This Is the End, there's sort of that feeling.
Same thing. There's a magical.
Yeah, there's a magical
situation, and now let the comedy happen around that. You know what I mean? You were wrong though.
Okay.
You were extremely wrong. You were right about like one thing, but you were really wrong because you made this just a straight up comedy.
Oh.
You left out the heart.
The heart. I said the heart was that he learned something. That's always the heart.
You ready to hear it?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready. I'm about to fuck Sam up because this movie, I forgot how good it was. Like I remember it was a great comedy. Everybody remembers like, oh, Liar, it's one of the best comedies. But I forgot how good the movie is. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this is a good movie. Take the comedy out of it. Like this is really like a good fucking movie. Great script. The script is really good. It's extremely original. They don't make movies like this anymore where it's just an original comedy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But with an original idea. But also Jim Carrey's acting makes it real. Because it's a crazy situation. It's like you said, what it's about. Liar, liar. Oh, everybody knows he can't lie. All right. But Jim Carrey's acting makes it like, Jesus, this is a serious situation. Yeah. You ready?
Yes.
Movie starts. Credits roll. W-O-R-K. Work. Today we're going to share what our parents do, and you hear all the kids go, for work. We see kids in a class. My dad is a doctor. My mom is a teacher. And then you see this little boy, and he goes, and the teacher goes, and your dad? And this cute little white boy. You've seen him in other stuff. He's not like he wasn't like super famous kid actor.
But he did stuff.
But he did stuff, bro. Just too adorable. One of those kind of white kids. Like, oh, this kid is just too fucking adorable, right? And he goes, well, my dad, he's a liar. And the teacher goes, and we see this big old lady teacher. She's like, honey, I'm sure he isn't a liar. I'm sure that's not what you mean. And then the kid goes, well, he wears a suit and he talks to a judge. And she goes, oh, a lawyer.
Called it.
Your
one
father's
thing.
a lawyer.
Choosing.
You
Jim
just called
Carrey,
it. I said
lawyer.
You're right. That was the thing you were right about.
Yo, if he says that some fat woman is pregnant in this movie, I won.
Okay. and then she goes, and the little kid smiles. Cut to, we see our lead. You hear, Mr. Reed, Mr. Reed. And you see Jim Carrey coming out of a courtroom, and he had just won a big case. He clearly just won, right?
Yeah.
And he's like talking sharp, and he clearly also got off the bad guy.
Yeah.
He's that kind of lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because he's got to learn something.
You already know. So he's like, oh, I got to get to my sunroom room. And the lady's like, reporters want to talk to you about your big win. He goes, ooh, how's my hair? And then he walks over to the reporters, right? Cut to, you see the little kid, the son, and his mom, who you also recognize from so much stuff. Like,
What'd she look like?
White lady. She's never like a big actress, but like she was like you remember when we watched Semi Pro with Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
There's a woman in it that Woody Harrelson's dating. It's her.
Oh, dude, I can't remember.
I gotta show you her face.
Show me. I'm
gonna show you her face just because you need. It's like you can't go the whole movie without seeing this bitch's face. You know. So does that look like Whitney Cummings, didn't it? Oh my God, Krista Allen.
Or pull her up so that I can see her other stuff.
Yeah.
That's her?
No, it's not her. That's not her. I gotta find. Sorry, guys. See, this is why we need somebody who
just sits in the corner quietly until we need them.
Where is it?
She's
Here she is.
Not a big part of the movie.
Her. No, Audrey. Audrey is her name in the movie. Her.
Oh, she's like a big actress.
She's a big actress. She's been in a lot of stuff.
She's in so much
she's
stuff.
in ER. Holy shit.
She's been working forever. Oh God, what's her first name? Mara Tierney. What else is she in? She's in lots of stuff. Go through the things.
Sam, we don't have.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we do have time. We don't have anywhere to be, but it's like, should we be doing this thing that they can't see?
You guys can pull up IMDb and become a part of it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so she's the woman, and this little kid is the kid. Him. Not that old man. Sorry. Him.
Here, click on his thing.
Jesus.
I think you should click on the name, not on the face.
Man, I hope it doesn't. I clicked on the little kid. Hopefully it doesn't show us like a adult version of him. I'd be so fucking mad. God, our Wi-Fi's going slow. This is very annoying.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him.
Little kid.
I think he was in the Tooth Fairy movie with Kirstie Allen.
Might have been. So he's just adorable.
Which is actually a fun movie.
Okay. So cut to, we see the mom, him, waiting, right? They're sitting outside the house, like clearly waiting for the dad to come get him. Mm-hmm. You know? The kid is sad as shit.
Sadness.
Kid's really sad. A car passes, like it's one of those shots where a car passes and he hops up and then the car keeps going and he's like, and heartbreaking. Saying like, is this real? You feel it. And then the mom goes, he just probably got held up in court, honey. It's all good. Cut to a car, whips in the driveway. You hear that super happy like music in the background. And he's like, Dad! And then Jim Carrey's like, Maximilian! Right? And then he's like he's such, like, and the kid runs over to him. He's like, how you doing, creep? And he gives him a big hug. He's like, how you doing? He's like, I'm good, Dad. And he's like, how you doing today, Dad? He's like, oh, I'm good, except my arm's really bothering me. He goes, oh no, Dad. He goes, yeah, it's the claw! And he grabs him, he starts tickling. He's like, the claw! And he's like, he's just laughing and shit. And he's like, run, boy, run. And the kid runs to mom and he's like, do the stopper claw, man. Do the stopper claw, mom. And the mom looks at him and he's like, you found the claw's only weakness. Sub-zero temperatures. And he puts it down. Right? And then the mom looks at him and goes, do you have any trouble finding the place?
Ooh.
I mean, Sam, are you not a little hot?
Are they divorced?
Oh, yeah. You can feel it. I mean, he's coming to pick up the son.
Yeah. Yo.
You tell me you already, because put yourself in it.
Oh, yeah. Just hearing about other people's experiences with dads not showing up.
Oh, we've heard some stuff.
It's like, oh, that sucks.
Not cool.
Not cool, Dad.
If the kid is getting excited when a car passes, bro, this isn't good.
Yo, it's like, what are you leading on the kid?
Yeah, right? So she says that, you're having trouble finding the place, and then he says a bunch of lies. He's like, no, my car ran out of gas, and then I got a flat tire, and, this neighborhood's really rough, and, luckily I was wearing neutral gang colors. And he's just making the kid's just laughing. He's just loving it, right? Yeah. And then you see the mom. Also, that must be annoying, too, when it's like,
he's so much fun.
He's so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
That makes it worse, though, a little bit. I think. I was watching it.
It's
like,
so
that makes it worse. It'd be better if he was just an abandoned dad. But to be like this super fun time.
But also I get why, because that's a personality. You can't be fun everywhere all the time.
Yeah. So when you're with your kid, you turn it on.
You turn it on, and also it's like that's why you're not responsible.
Yeah, you're turning it on and off and which it should just be on. You're a dad.
Yeah.
24/7. That should be 24/7.
Do you ever think like maybe what Jim Carrey was like with his own kids? Because you always see him with kids in movies, and it's like I wonder how it would feel if he wasn't like giving his kids that kind of like high energy all the time.
I don't know. That's interesting.
We should interview his kids.
So, she goes, he says like all this gang affiliated neighborhood will do it, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, I might have to bust a cab. You know what I'm saying? He's doing all this shit. And then she goes, don't worry, Fletcher. The gangs wouldn't hurt you. You're their lawyer. And he goes, ooh, below the belt. You know what I mean? And then he goes, Mom, Dad's taking me to see wrestling tonight. And they both go, right? And then she's like, Fletcher. He's like, come on, the boy must learn what men are like, The Macho Man Randy Savage in the cage of death. And the kid's like, yeah, right? He's all excited. So right then, another guy shows up. Remember, he's the main character in Saw, the white dude.
You mean not the guy from Robin Hood Men in Tights?
He looks like him. Not that guy, but I think that is him. I'm sorry, him.
The Princess Bride.
Him. I think. Pretty sure it's him.
Okay.
Him. He's the other guy in this. Like
really?
He's the remember I said they're divorced, so she has a new
man.
Oh
yeah, there's always a new man.
Always a new man.
He's like cool, but he's also in the way.
So he shows up and he's so dorky. The guy does a great. You know who he is? He's Jerry from Rick and Morty.
Yo.
Sam, and his name, Jerry. Dead serious. This nigga is so. Hey, Fletcher, how's it going, buddy? You know what I mean? Pleasure to see you.
Yo.
Hi, honey. And he kisses the wife, and then he was like, oh, Jim Carrey goes, that was a great image. Deleted, right? Cut to them talking, right? And you see that you like he goes, so Jerry heard you moving to Boston. He's like, yeah, opening up a new hospital that I got to run, got to move soon. Super busy. I actually don't have time right now. I got to run. And then he looks at the kid and he goes, but I made this young man a promise, didn't I? And he bends down, he pulls out a baseball. He goes, you got time to throw it for you? And the little kid's like, sure, thanks, Jerry. And then they go run off. He's like, come on. And they start throwing the baseball together.
Ooh, that hurts.
Right?
Another man throwing baseball with your son?
Well, it's not that. It's the key phrase was I promised you.
Yeah.
And I know I'm busy.
And I'm fulfilling it.
I'm making sure I said we were going to throw the baseball around. That's everything. And you saw how happy the kid is because, like, bro, that's everything to a kid.
Also, they're really keeping track of promises.
You can't promise that you're going to do something, fool. So, they're over there throwing the baseball. Jim Carrey's talking shit. And then he goes, sorry about your boyfriend moving. Have you guys, are you guys... He's doing all this shit, and she's laughing. She's like,
"How could you not?"
Yeah, she's like, "What do you think?" And he goes, "Ooh, gross." He was like, "I was hoping after me you'd have no strength left." And but then she comes back with, "Well, I don't know if you remember, Fletcher. You were having way more sex than me."
Ooh.
And he laughs and he goes, "Ooh," and the ref takes a point away. The below the belt line. That's a very clever boxing callback. So he goes, right then, she's looking at Max and Jerry. They're watching them have fun, right? They're throwing the baseball. They're having fun. And then she goes, oh, Max is really going to miss him. And then Jim Carrey goes, I'm here. And she just looks at him and goes, oh, and walks away. And he goes,
clearly not really.
Yeah. Also, it's interesting when a guy is just like, because there are guys like this. So it's interesting when a guy is like, yeah, bro, what makes just because he likes you when he sees you doesn't mean you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
If he likes you this much when he sees you also this much, you're doing a bad job. You're not there for discipline. You're not there for you're not there.
Yeah.
So she says that. He goes, all right, Max, let's go. So cut to, they're going, you see Max and him walking into like his office. And he goes, Dad, we're really going to wrestling today, aren't we? He goes, absolutely, Maxter. Just got to stop by the office for 1 minute. So they walk in, right? And as they walk in, cut to, you see this woman in a top office talking to this like black lawyer. And they're arguing back and forth. And he's like, I can't do it. And she's insisting and insisting. She's like, we got to take it to trial. You'd be great to represent Miss Cole. We got to do it. He goes, I'll do it. I'll represent Miss Cole and I'll take it to trial. But I won't lie, Miranda. And she's like, well, we'll find someone who will. Right? Ooh. Cut to Jim. He's in the office and he's making his son laugh. And you see this woman pop up and she's got crazy hair, right? She's like, hi, Mr. Reed. And he's like, oh, God. And he lies to her, telling her how it looks really good, even though he's clearly lying. And then this fat guy walks up and he's like, hey, Pete, you losing weight? And he's like, I'm trying to. He's like, well, you look great. And then another guy walks in and he's like, hey, Mr. Reed. And he's like, hey, man. And then another guy walks up and he's got like boils on his face and he ignores him and just gives him his lunch order. Like he's just being like nice. You know what I'm saying? But like lying to everybody. Fake as fuck. Then you see his secretary, this super old woman who's like super sweet. And then Max sees the secretary and he's like, Greta! And she's like, hey, Max! And you can tell they have a relationship, right? And you can tell the kid loves her. And he's like, so she's like, Max, I know you got a birthday coming up tomorrow. Are you excited? And then you see Fletcher, Jim Carrey, go, yeah, your birthday is coming up. And he's like, you know, Sam. The acting is so real too because you feel him of like, you know? Yeah. And then when she says that, he goes, hey, buddy, why don't you go play in my office? You know, go in there and sue someone for everything they got. Or you can get on the fax machine and send one to one of your girlfriends. And the son goes, and he goes, hey, right? And then they both laugh and he closes the door and then he looks at Greta and he's like, oh, my God, I'm an asshole. I forgot. And then he's like, and she goes, what a surprise. And then she reaches down from under her desk, pulls out a present.
Of course.
That she bought. And he goes, oh, you're a saint. And she goes, don't worry, I bought one for myself too. And then she holds up another present. He's like, glad you got yourself something, right? And then she goes through his schedule and he lies a bunch to like say that he's not going to do this. He's just throwing all these lies out to get out of everything. And then his mom called. He throws out a lie to get out of his call with his mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, by the way, Miranda's looking for you. And he goes, oh, God, how much ass do I have to kiss to be partner around this place? And he turns around and she's right there. He's like, hey, didn't see you. You look beautiful today. Right? And she does look good, but she's like an older woman.
Yeah.
Clearly, you know? And she goes, I heard about your victory. You know, you're making quite an impression on the partner committee. And he's like, you know, well, you know, just doing the best I can, doing my part. But he's like, I really don't have time right now. I actually have a very important client in my office. And then she goes, Fletcher, something important came up. You're not busy tonight, are you? And he looks at her, like, and then she smiles. Cut to, you see him coming in the office with two humongous, like, crates of paper.
Yeah.
And he's like, ugh, and he slams them on the desk. And then you see the kid already, the kid's already like this. And he looks up and he goes, we're not going, are we? And Fletcher's just like,
they're always trying to make partner. I should have included that in my thing.
Because that's important. They're never already partner.
No.
They're always trying to make partner.
Always trying to make partner.
Cut to.
It's also crazy that none of them are like, I'm just going to start my own business. In the 90s, it's all about making partner.
It's also crazy that, I mean, I get it that this is what I think. And tell me if I'm not wrong. It's like, hey, I'm taking my son to wrestling and then I have to pull an all-nighter because that's what I said yes. And I already said I'm taking him to wrestling. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, that. If it means I have to lose 2 more hours of my sleep, then that's what it means.
Yeah, because how long is the wrestling really going to
That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, we'll go for 2 hours. We leave. He goes to bed.
Yeah.
I'm up all night. Everyone's happy. Like, in my head, it's like, that's what I guess, but that's what being a parent is, right? Sacrifice.
Well, also, it's like, how do you expect to do? You're still going to have to return your kid to the mom. What is he going to sit there and watch you do all your work?
Exactly. Which he did. So, cut to fancy dinner, right? We see Jerry talking to Audrey, you know, the other woman, and he looks at her and he goes, will you marry me? And she's like, she like spits her food up. She's like, what? And she's like, you're moving. He goes, I know, but I want you and Max to come with me. I love you and I've given it a lot of thought and I'm ready and I love you and I love Max and you love Max and Max loves me and it fits. It all works.
Wait, does she love him though?
And he goes, what do you say? And she goes, cut to.
Yo.
Told you, Sam, this is like movies paced really good.
Okay.
We see Jim working hard the next morning, early in the morning. He's up typing. He's got pajamas on. Max comes in. He's rubbing his eyes. And he goes, hey, creepy. Happy birthday. And then Max is like, thanks. You can tell he's still kind of sad. He's like, thanks, Dad. He goes, how old are you now? 22, 23? And then Max laughs. He's like, I'm 5, Dad. He goes, 5? Well, okay, return the beer keg, send back the dancing girls, and the kid's just like laughing now. But it's also great because it's like, yo, you could tell he's like, oh, Jim Carrey has this kid laughing.
Yeah,
like it's not he's got him. He just got him rolling, you know. And then he goes, I don't know what to do about your birthday today, Max. I'm so unprepared for this. And you see, like, he's turned around as he's saying this, and he's doing something. And then he goes, because, I bought you a present, but last night, and he swivels his chair around, and he's got the whole present stuffed under his shirt. He's like, I swallowed it. And then he's like, Dad, it's in your belly. And he's like, scalpel. And then the kid slaps his hand. He's like, all right, I hope it's not digested. And he pushes it out, and the kid like catches it. Bro, just the most fun dad.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this guy's so much fun. I was watching, like, wow, I'm definitely gonna be like this because I'm so much. I do. I'm like this with her.
It's true.
She loves it.
I'm a little kid.
So, he's like, he's like, oh my God, Dad, it's so cool. What is it? He's like, it's a car. It's a pony. Open it up. And he starts opening it up. And then Jim Carrey's watching. He's like, I'm going to help you open it up because I can't stand it. Which is also like, yo, this nigga, he doesn't know what's in it, bro.
That's right. He doesn't know.
So he's really just a bad, but the acting is so good.
Oh, dude.
And he opens it up. And then the kid's like, baseball stuff. And he's like, baseball stuff? And the kid's like, let's play, Dad. I'll be Nomo. You can be Jose Canseco. Come on, can we play? Can we play? And he's like, absolutely we can. Right after your party tonight, you and me, we'll play together. He goes, but right now, I really got to concentrate, okay? And the kid's like, he's like, all right. And he starts like kind of tickling him, and the kid doesn't laugh. And then he just goes back to work, and the kid just walks off. Heartbroken.
Oh, dude, Jim Carrey, what are you doing?
Play catch with this nigga. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So, cut to later that morning, he's getting picked up, right? And, his mom and Jerry pull up, and they're like, hey, happy birthday, Max. And Jerry's like, happy birthday, Max. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 to grow on. And then Jim Carrey's like, he struck the child. You see that? And then he looks at Jerry, and he goes, Jerry, look what Dad got me. And he shows him the glove. And he goes, whoa. He goes, guess what? I have my glove, too. Maybe we can stop by the park and play some catch. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah. And you know what we'll do tonight? We'll rub some oil on it and get some tape, wrap a big rubber band around it. It'll be great. And he's like, whoa. And then Jerry looks at Jim Carrey and he goes, hey, great gift, Dad. And then Jim Carrey goes, thanks, son. Bro, I remember being in the theater losing it at that line. The thanks, bro, huge theater laugh. And then, so he looks at, because the kid and him run off. So he looks at Audrey and he goes, so glad my gift can bring them closer together. And then she goes, look, we need to talk. Something's come up. And he goes, okay, sure. And she goes, tonight? And he goes, ooh, tonight, I don't know if I can. And she goes, tonight, Max's birthday party? And he goes, oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, of course. We'll talk then. And then she goes, yeah, we will. And then she turns around and they leave. Right there, Sam, I think would you have slapped me if I'd have said that?
Well, just give me full fucking custody, and I want more money from you.
You're a lawyer.
You're a lawyer. I don't need you.
But because she's clearly doing fine on her own. But yeah, I do understand her being like, I need. Yo, Sam, because I'm putting myself in her position. I say, well, we'll just talk about it tonight, and then you say, ooh, tonight we do, and it's like,
do you forget about the party?
This thing that we've been talking about all day? The thing that your son is super fucking pumped for? Well, what's going on right now?
She doesn't even know that they didn't go to wrestling. She knows.
Oh, she doesn't know yet. She's going to find out in the car.
But she basically knows.
Yeah.
She probably
could assume. And then Sam.
It's not surprising.
Let me tell you something. You assume that about me. You assume, all right, Derek's going to say he's going to pick up, he's taking a wrestling movie. He's all excited. You're assuming I'm going to fuck it up. He gets in the car. You go, how's wrestling with your dad? Our son says to you, Samantha Lopez, we didn't go. Are you, because I know how mad you get, bro. Are you even letting me sit? Like, how do you feel?
I'm turning the car around.
Are you going to start shit right in front of him?
No, I would be really slow and quiet and angry.
And then when you talk to me next, you'd be...
I would turn the car around and I'd walk into the house and then I would be like, fuck you.
You would whisper it still?
And then I would sit on your face.
Well, now we're just back to how we got the kid in the first place.
I know, that's true.
So...
But that's my only move.
That is your move, and I like it. So, he goes, yeah, we'll talk later. And then he goes, Maximus, I'm out of here. And he's like, bye, Dad. And he's like, Jerry, enjoy my wife, huh? And Jerry's just
yo,
this nigga's tripping.
Yo.
So cut to he's in his lawyer office and he's talking to this really slutty looking woman with a raspy voice. You'd recognize this actress. She's been in a lot of shit.
Okay.
Her voice is, she talks like this. It's this very slutty kind of talking like this voice, you know? And they're going off on the case and he's telling her what they're going to do, but she's like, but that's not true. And she's like, does that present a problem? And he goes off on like, doesn't matter if it's not true, about how your husband's been a dick. And then he goes off on what she did. She's clearly been cheating on her husband.
Okay.
All right, and they signed a prenup, her and this husband of hers.
Yeah, okay.
And she was been cheating on him with 7 different men.
Jesus.
And they have evidence, they have hard evidence for one, right? But Jim Carrey's like, none of that matters. He's responsible. You're the victim here. And all you want is your fair share. And then he starts hyping her up and saying all these lies he's going to say in court, right? And then she's like, yeah. And then she's like, but I did offer joint custody for the kids. You know, he is a wonderful father. And then he goes, yeah, he's a wonderful father, but how does he repay you? By dragging you through a painful legal process and these kids? And then he's like, you know, no, that can't happen. Where would Tina Turner be? If she was like, if she rolled over after Ike hit her and was like, hit me again, Ike, but this time put some stank on it. Rolling down a river, that's where she'd be. And then she's looking at him and her eyes get all big. And he's like, you know, we got to send up. He's like, no, you know what Tina Turner decided to do? She decided to send a message. Wake up, sisters. There is no such thing as a weaker sex. And then you're like, everybody in the whole office is looking at him now like, who is this guy? And then she's like, you know what? You're right, Mr. Reed. I am tired of being kicked around. And she walks up and she squeezes his ass and she's like, thank you. And then she walks out, and then the boss is there, the Miranda boss. And she's like, you are good. You are very good. And let me tell you something. You win this, you'll definitely make partner. And he's like, smiles. And she goes, in fact, how would you like to make a partner right now? And he's like, I don't know. And then she kisses the shit out of him. Cuts and they fall down.
Whoa. Wow, this is complicated.
Complicated, bro.
Work romance. It's not The Office would have you think it's good.
The Office will fucking preach to you that everybody gets married in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Apparently.
But it's not actually a good thing.
No, look at Roy. No, Roy got married. Everyone gets married in Scranton.
He doesn't get married to someone in the office though.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes you got to leave the office to find love.
To find some real love, bro. Because Pam wasn't right for him.
Pam wasn't right for anyone. Let's be honest.
Let's be fucking honest. We don't have time today. Sam.
Okay, sorry.
We don't have time.
Sorry.
So, but facts. Cut to the birthday party. Happy, you see a clown. Happy. I'm so happy today. I live in the USA. And all the kids are playing, right? You see Jerry asking, why don't you want to go with me to Boston? And she's like, I can't. And then he goes, she goes, it's because of Max. He goes, what? Max will love it there. It's Boston. We'll go to Celtics games. We'll go to Fenway Park. We'll go to like other fun, like cool architecture, art things. Like he'll love it there. And then she goes, it's Fletcher. And he goes, Fletcher? He doesn't even come over. Like, what do you mean? Like, you had to force him to come to this. And she goes, I know. But when he does, you don't understand. They have their own little world together. And he goes, me and the Gipper have that. And she goes, I know, but you don't understand. Like they have the claw. And she goes, he's like, what? She's like, the claw. He's like, what's the claw? And she's like, and she puts the cake down and she's like,
she's doing it. Oh my God.
She holds the and she's like, it's the claw. The claw. She comes up on him and she's like, the claw. And then she starts laughing and he's not laughing. And she goes, he does it way better than me. But it's not the point. The point is they have their own special thing and it would destroy Max. And it's so far away. I can't do that.
It's also not fair to just take your kid away from his father. Also,
when he's acting like the way he's acting, no, Sam. Oh, it's fair.
But this is also not about that. She's like, am I going to take my kid away from his father just to be with a guy I clearly don't love? Because if she loved him, this wouldn't be a question.
But he keeps hurting his son's heart, fool, and that's not okay.
But she's like, I understand as a mother to be like, well, I'm hoping he'll change for him.
He's already got some final straws, but we'll keep going and see how you feel later. Okay. So
she also doesn't love this guy.
True. Right then.
It wouldn't have been a question.
You're right. True. Fletcher calls.
She's
like, Fletcher, oh my God, where are you? We're waiting on you. He goes, Audrey, listen to me. And she goes, hey, you need to hurry. How far away are you? Max said he won't cut the cake until you get here. And he goes, now you see him. and you see the woman kissing all on his neck and ripping his clothes off. And he's like, oh man, I got a problem on the new case. And then she's like, oh my God. And he's like, well, what happened? He's like, well, the new case. And he looks at because the girl's like biting on his nipples. And she's like, what was that? He's like, I stubbed my toe. I'm sorry. He's like, look, I'm not going to make it. The boss is really riding me. And then she's like, Fletcher, it's his birthday. Sam, that's what I'm saying. Come on, you're done. We're moving.
Oh yeah, but it's like to say you're moving because now she's just moving because of him versus you're asking this woman to make choices about something that she doesn't want to make. Like if it was a different guy that she loved,
she'd have left already.
She'd have left already. It wouldn't even been a question.
Because you're such a bad dad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're missing this nigga's 5. Bro, this nigga's turning 6, fool. I mean, turning 5. You gonna make, bro, the 5-year-old birthday?
So she should just run away from him?
No, but man, I'm so hot at you, bro. I don't know if I can be around you. I don't know if I can't let you do this to this dude.
Yeah.
I can't let you do this, or that's how it feels. Like, bro, I can't let you do this, or this is mean.
Yeah.
This is not fair. So he's like, she's like, I can't make it. And she's like, Fletcher's his birthday. He's like, I know. Tell him I'll make it up to him. I'll pick him up from school tomorrow. She's like, are you fucking serious? You're gonna pick him up from school tomorrow? Fletcher, you can't miss his birthday. He's like, I'm gonna pick him up. I know, I'm sorry. And this woman's just kissing all on him, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, what a piece of shit. And then she's like, oh, so you're gonna pick him up from school? And he's like, yes, I promise. And she goes, well, okay, hold on. Let me get him so you can at least say happy birthday. And then right then the woman starts pulling the cord off the phone. He's like, no, I gotta go. And she yanks it out. Bye. And then him and her just start fucking.
Yo, Jim Carrey.
You see what I mean, Sam?
No.
It's like, no, it's bad.
Also, who is this woman keeping someone?
You hear this conversation?
Yeah, your employee from his child? That's so gross.
You hear this 5-year-old birthday conversation.
It's not even work related. It's just sex.
Cut to, bro, this part. Cut to everyone singing happy birthday to Max. You don't see him yet. You just see everybody singing, happy birthday, dear Max. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, Max. The camera pans over. This nigga is just like this.
Oh.
Bro, he's like this. This shit got a tear out of me. So he's like this. And then you hear everybody like, make a wish. Anything you want, honey, you can make it. And he doesn't say anything. He's just looking at the cake. And he's like trying to not cry. And bro, you see all the other parents and everybody's like, damn. You know what I mean? And then the mom walks up. I wasn't crying, but this is where it got me. The mom walks up and she's like, Max, your father's sorry. He had to work late, okay? And then he goes, but he promised. He starts crying, but he promised. It's like, damn, fool. That's what I meant about the heart of like, you feel for this. Like, it's like, bro, this nigga isn't like, Jim Carrey's not cool right now, fool.
Yeah.
Like, I get her being like, yo, we'll move to Boston just because this is crazy.
Yeah.
You can't do this. You can't do this.
Is he going to make a wish?
So.
Don't, you're crying. Here.
See, I got you, bro.
You got yourself.
I got myself. He goes, I know. She said, I know, but he's going to pick you up from school tomorrow. So come on, honey, please, make a wish. And he's like, oh. He thinks about it. And then in his head, you hear, I wish for one day my dad couldn't tell a lie. And he blows out the candles, and the smoke goes up in slow motion. And you hear this crazy, like mystical music. And then you see the time on the clock, 8:15 p.m. Fades out. Next morning, early in the morning, maybe like 3, 4 in the morning, we see him and our boy Jim Carrey and the boss, like pillow talking, right? And then she's like, oh, the boss is like, that was incredible. Oh my God. Was it good for you? And he looks over, he's like, I've had better. And then his eyes get big and she's like, cut to her throwing him the fuck out and throwing his clothes. And he looks and he's like, I've had better. And then you see him at home and he wakes up at 6 a.m. and he's like, I've had better. And then you see him brushing his teeth and he's like, I've had better. And he starts laughing, right? And then you see him showing up to work that morning, like early in the morning, and he's like on the elevator and he's like laughing really hard. Like, yeah. I've had better? Like, the acting's, because I do get it of like, damn, that's exactly how you would be like, what?
Why did I say that?
Yeah, like, that's crazy that I would say that, you know? So he gets in the elevator and there's a woman with huge tits in the elevator, right? And he's like, how's it going? You gotta remember, he's at the job already. Yeah. Remember, he was with this woman, you know?
Oh, he spent the night in his office?
Oh, no, he was in the office. No, he went home and then he came back to the office. Yeah. You're right, my bad. So that's how he's at the job. And so he looks at this woman with huge tits and he's like, hey, new in the building? And she's like, yeah, just moved in. Just started working here. And then he's like, how's everybody been treating you? They've been treating you good? She's like, yeah, everyone's super nice. And he's like, yeah, it's probably because you got big jugs. And she's like, what? He's like, I mean, your boobs are huge. And he's like, I mean, I want to squeeze them. And she's like,
yo.
And he goes, mama.
Yo, that's what you do.
I do that. Yeah. That's where I got it from. And then she punches this nigga in the face, right? So he walks out. And as he walks out, he's like, what the fuck? He goes outside and he sees a homeless guy. And the homeless dude's like, any change? And he's like, yes. And he starts walking faster. And the homeless guy's like, well, can I have some? And he's like, no. And he's like, what, why won't you give it to me? And he's like, because I'm cheap. Ah! And then he runs away. And so he gets to the courtroom and now he's like all panicky. Like,
what's happening?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? And then the Miss Cole woman's like, you look like you having a rough morning. He's like, ding, ding, ding. And she looks at him like, what the fuck? And then right then the husband and the other lawyer walk up. Like the one.
This is the woman that had the wispy voice. Yeah, her. Okay.
This is the husband and the other woman walk, the other lawyer, which is a woman. This other lawyer walk up, right? And the lawyer goes, we can just settle this now and get out of court. And then Jim Carrey's like, nope, we want our 50%. And then the other lawyer laughs. She's like, with adultery and a prenup, what's your case? And he goes, our case is simply this. Yeah! Yeah! And everybody's looking at him. And he's like, he stops and he looks around. And he's like, and then she's like, very funny, Fletcher. You want to play hardball? I'm game. And she walks away. And then Jim Carrey's like, you want to play hardball? I'm game. He sits down. And then the woman is like, yo, what the fuck is Miss? It's like, what's going on? And then right then they're like, all rise for the Honorable Judge Marshall Stevens. And then Jim Carrey's like, honorable. And everybody looks at him and he's like, no. Right? This black judge walks in and he's like, how you doing, counsel? To the lady. And she's like, doing good. And he's like, and what about you, Mr. Reed? And he's like, I'm a little bit mad about a bad sexual episode I had last night. And everybody looks at him. He's like, ah. And then the judge is like, well, you're young. It'll happen more and more, but let's get down to business for now. And then right then he's like, well, can I get a continuance? He's like, a continuance? Well, I need good cause, counsel. What's the problem? And he stares and he's quiet. And then he's like, I can't lie. And then the judge goes, well, that's commendable, Mr. Reed, but do you have cause or not? He's like, nah, damn it. And then they keep going, right? And then the other lawyer goes, well, look, we offered this woman $2 million, but they didn't want to settle. And then Jim Carrey's like, settle. And the woman's like, no. He's like, settle. And then the woman's like, no way, we're not settling. The story you came up with, we can't lose. I want to proceed. And he's like, you don't understand. And then they go, Mr. Reed, do we have a settlement? And he's like, no. And he starts pulling his hair out. And he's like, right? And everybody's looking at him. And he goes, okay, well, the trial will commence today, 1:30 p.m. sharp. And he's like, and then he runs out of the building.
Yo, Jim Carrey is so volatile.
He's so volatile. He's also like, bro, this thing is crazy. So this nigga runs. He gets on the elevator, right? The elevator goes up. Bro, elevator goes up. The doors open. You see everybody making a face like this, and he's like, and then he gets out the elevator, he turns around, and he was like, it was me. And then everybody's like, oh. Yo, great fart joke. The fart wasn't even there.
That's so perfect.
So you see that woman with the crazy hair. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, hey, Mr. Reed, you like the new dress? He's like, anything to keep the focus off your head? And he keeps walking. And the other guy's like, hey, Fletcher. He's like, hey, fatty. And he's like, oh, God. And then the other guy goes, hey, Mr. Reed. And he's like, hey, you're not important enough to remember. And he keeps going. And he gets to he runs in his office, right? And he slams the door. He's like, all right, you can beat this. It's all a matter of willpower. Just a test, something small. He looks on his desk and he sees a blue pen. And he grabs the blue pen and he looks at it and then he looks away from it and he goes, red. All right, now focus. The color of this pen is the color of this pen is okay. The color of the pen that I hold in my hand is royal blue.
Yo.
He's like, one lie and I can't say it.
Gosh, she's making it feel like the experience of not being able to lie is like, you ever fall asleep in class and you know you're asleep and you can't get up?
Can't get up.
That's what it seems like.
I've experienced this feeling in dreams. This feeling where
Yeah.
you just can't do something.
Yes.
And it's cool to watch someone act it, embody it, and act it out. Because it's like, damn it, that's how it feels, you know. So this nigga grabs it and he grabs the pen. He goes, well, if I can't say it, I'll write it. And he starts to write. The color of the pen is R. This nigga starts scribbling everywhere, and he starts knocking his computer off, and he knocks all the rest of his shit off, and then he like can't control his arm. Now his arm's just like going crazy, and then he puts it down, and he puts his knee on his arm. He's like, write it or I'll break it off. And then the arm starts writing. You can't see what the arm's writing. He's laughing, and then he looks at it, and it's just blue written down. And then he's like, oh, no. And then he writes down blue again. He's like, no. And then the pen looks at him. He's like, and then he's like, no. And then he falls down. And then he's like, you hear the Greta lady running. She's like, boss, are you okay? And then he raises up, and he's got the word blue written all over his face.
Yo.
And he's like, the pen is blue. The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue. And then she's like, Mr. Reed, what's going on? He's like, I gotta go. And he gets up to leave. She's like, what about the case? Did you settle? He's like, no. And she's like, well, what time do you have to be back in court? He's like, I have to be back in court in 1:30. And she's like, well, how are you gonna go home? He's like, I don't know. And he's just like crying, right? And then she goes, your ex-wife called. She wants to know when you're picking up your son. He goes, oh, God damn it, I'm such a shit. And then he stops and he looks at himself in the mirror like, he can't lie.
Yeah.
Like it felt differently.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like the acting, so he looks at himself like,
I've never acknowledged that I'm a shit.
I've never acknowledged that before.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Yeah.
You know? So he calls him and he's like, Audrey. And then they call and she goes, hey, you're picking up Max today, right? And he goes, I wanted to, but I thought I had a case that I was sure going to win and it was going to settle, but it didn't. And then she's like, Fletcher. He's like, no, but it's true. I really want to see Max today. And then she goes, right. He goes, no, I'm telling the truth. And she's like, oh, like last night? And he's like, well, last night, last night I was, he goes, were you telling the truth? He goes, no. She goes, well, what were you doing last night? He goes, having sex. And then he goes like, he's like looking at us like, like he can't, like he doesn't want to say this, right? And then she goes, and then Audrey goes, well, I hope you liked her. Hope it was worth missing your kid's birthday. He goes, no, it wasn't, but she's a partner, and I just wanted to move up by making her squeal. And he throws the phone. And she's like, ugh. She hangs up. And he throws himself on the ground. He's like, what's wrong with me? And he goes, I'm getting what I deserve. I'm reaping what I sow. He's just trying to breathe, right? So Max looks at his mom, and he goes, is Dad picking me up today? And she goes, no, not today, honey. I'm sorry. And he's like, I guess my wish didn't come true. And she's like, what wish? And he goes, I don't know. I wish just for one day Dad couldn't tell a lie. And he's like, and he just turns away. He's sad as fuck. And the mom, bro, as you see the mom, she's like, Max, come here. Mm-hmm. We have to talk about something, okay? Cut to. I feel the mom. You feel her on that one when the kid says that of like, I gotta get her away from him.
Yeah.
This is a toxic. It's a toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's when somebody's with somebody that, like a friend is with a boyfriend or a girlfriend they shouldn't be with.
They're
it's
leading
like, no,
them on.
This is toxic.
Yeah, it's like codependency.
It's a really bad codependency, and even if Sam, like you said, even if I let him stay here and we do grow up here, and this relationship is gonna end bad. Yeah. Like he's gonna grow up hating him. Yes. I'd be better if he grew up just kind of not knowing him. It's a different kind of hate than what if we grow up and keep doing this. He's gonna get to high school and they're gonna fight, like they're gonna fist fight, like it's gonna be a problem. Yeah. You know. So, Jim calls Audrey again, and he's like, Audrey, sorry, something happened, but and she goes, guess what, Fletcher? Something did happen. We're moving to Boston. He goes, what? No, you can't go. I'll never see Max. And she's like, good. You'll have the same relationship you have with him now. That's stuff you would say. That's because it's like those kind of mean things are the stuff that like, bro, you want to like break a nigga's heart. You say things like that.
You tell the truth.
That's facts. And then he's like, where are you? She's like, I'm going home. And then I got to go to work. He's like, when you get to the house, stay there. I'm coming over. She's like, Fletcher, I don't have time. She's like, we have to talk. Stay there, don't move. And he hangs up the phone. And this nigga goes running down his hallway like, like just running down the hallway, right? And then he sees the partner lady that he had sex with, and she's like, Fletcher. And he's like, holy hell. And he fucking does a spin move and goes away from the elevator, kicks the stair doors open, sprints down the stairs.
Yeah.
He gets down, he gets in his car, he drives out so fast, he pulls off, fucking running red lights, he's speeding, he's doing this, he's switching lanes. A cop pulls him over. Shit. He gets over, the cop walks up, license and registrations, and then he's like, he's just like trying to like mutter to himself. And then the cop goes, you know why I pulled you over? And then Jim Carrey goes, depending on how long you were following me. God damn it. And he goes, well, okay, why don't you start from the top? And then Jim Carrey goes, I was speeding. I ran a stop sign. I did this. I did that. I made a left signal without blinking. I made a right signal without blinking. I did this. I did that. And then he's like, I did 65 miles an hour on a 35 zone without speeding. And the cop's like, he goes, also, I have unpaid parking tickets. And he hits his glove box, and like 30 or 40 unpaid parking tickets come out. And the cop's like, the fuck? And he goes, be gentle. Cut to him showing up to Audrey. Audrey is now leaving the house, pissed. She's literally walking out the door. And he's showing up in a cab. And he's like, Audrey, wait. And she's like, wait. And she's walking to her car. She's like, I can't believe it. You know, I'm sitting there waiting for you. And then I had an insight to myself. Fletcher asked me to wait, and I'm waiting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah. And she gets to the car. He's like, no, you don't understand. He's like, I can explain. And then she looks over and she goes, is that a cab? And he goes, yes. She's like, where's your car? And he's like he makes like a crazy face. And then cut to, they're at the junk, like at the tow shop picking up his car. He's like, thank you, Audrey. You don't know how much this means to me. And she's like, yeah, I know exactly how much it means. $1,172.18. And Jim Carrey looks up at the dude getting the check and he goes, how do you sleep at night? And he grabs like a bunch of air freshener. He grabs like 6 and he goes, I'm taking these. And then right then the car pulls around and he goes, you scratched my car. And the guy's like, where? And Jim Carrey's like, right here. And there's a huge scratch, humongous. Yeah. And the guy goes, that was already there. And Jim Carrey's like, you're a liar. Right? And he goes off, right? And then right then the lady goes, look, I'm leaving.
His ex.
Huh?
The wife.
He's going off on the dude, and then the wife goes, hey, I'm leaving. Like, I got to get out. I got to get to work. And then Jim Carrey goes, look, wait, are you marrying him because you're mad at me? She goes, no, Fletcher, I left you because I was mad at you. Yeah. You know? And then he goes, yeah, but you can't marry this guy. He's so not like me. And she goes, you mean his best quality? I love these, because it's crazy. It's like, man, he's real. Like, bro, anything you say, she's going to be able to flame you, bro. Yeah. Because she's just going to throw it back in your face. Yeah. Anything you say. And then he goes, yeah, I know, but the guy's just, a magoo. And then she goes, yeah, maybe he is, a little. And he goes, magoo. And she goes, yes. But, and she goes, I'm not talking about this with you. And then she goes to walk off. And he goes, Audrey, this isn't fair. And then she stops. And now she's pissed. And imagine what you think she's going to say, Sam. She goes, fair? Let's define fair. Was it fair last night that a 5-year-old was crushed that his father lied to him about coming to his birthday party? Is that fair? It's also like this. It's like, bro, what can you say that she's not going to bring up this? Yeah. You lost. And then she goes, and you know what? That's not my business. 2 years ago when we were together, it was my business. But now you don't show up. I don't have to care. You're an asshole. Fine. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care about you. But you know what? It matters to Max. Mm-hmm. Everything you do matters to Max, and everything you don't do matters to Max, which I thought was a great line. Everything you do matters to Max, and everything you don't do matters to Max. It's like, damn, that's some real, like, you're a parent now shit, you know? And then Jim Carrey, like, she's yelling at him, right? And then Jim Carrey goes, well, let me tell you something. I'm a bad father. And then she looks at him like, what the fuck? You know, and he's like, I'm a bad father. And then she's like, oh, you're not a bad father when you show up. Right? And he goes, well, what if I come over tonight and we play ball and we can talk? And she's like, no, it's over. She's like, I'm leaving tonight. He's like, please, I'll come over.
You're leaving tonight?
Yeah.
God, they really make things move fast.
Yeah.
How'd she sell her house?
Maybe she's selling it while she's gone.
Oh, that's true.
And then he's like, please, I lost Max. And he goes, I lost you. Don't let me lose Max too. Give me the chance of the father that I started out to be. And And she's like, oh, you're coming. And he goes, this is ironclad. This is the mother of all promises. I will be there. I will be there tonight. I promise. And she goes, 6 o'clock. He goes, 10 to 6. And she goes, all right. She laughs. He goes, I promise you. And she goes, but Fletcher, if I tell Max you're coming and you don't show, and I have to see that look on his face, we're going to Boston. Mm-hmm. And he's like, if I don't show up, I'll pack you both up and send you myself. Right? And then she's like, ugh. She gets in the car and he's laughing and he's about to walk off. And she goes, you know what? And he turns around. She goes, you know what your son was doing last night at 8:15 p.m.?
It's funny that she remembers the exact time.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
That is important. And he goes, what? And she goes, he made a wish that his father, for one day, couldn't tell a lie. And then she drives off. And he's like, that's it. Cut to, he gets to the school, right? And he interrupts the school, like, you know, and he goes, excuse me, I'm Max's bad father. I'm Max's father. And then, can I borrow him for a second? And then Max is like, Dad. And they get outside. He's like, Dadzilla, what are you doing here? He's like, Maximilian. He's like, well, look, I'm here. Bro, right? The relationship makes you just like, oh, they're so, God, I miss my dad, you know? Mm-hmm. So he goes, Mommy told me about the wish you made last night. He goes, yeah? He goes, guess what, buddy? It came true. He goes, what? You can't lie? He's like, nope, not even at all. He's like, really? Not even a little bit? He's like, not even a little bit. And then the kid goes, is wrestling real? He goes, the Olympics? Yes. On Channel 28? No. And he goes, will sitting too close to the TV really make me go blind? He goes, not in a million years. And he goes, whoa, you can't lie. He goes, look, buddy, they said, he's like, I need something from you. He's like, what do you need, Dad? He's like, I need you to take back that wish. And the kid gets all sad. He goes, so you can lie? He goes, yeah, but not to you. Just, sometimes, adults have to lie. He's like, but I don't want you to lie. He's like, but sometimes we need to. Like you remember, he's like, you don't know this, but when Mommy was pregnant with you, she gained like 40 pounds. And she would ask me, how do I look? And I'll be like, honey, you look great. You're glowing. If I say, oh, Mommy, you look like a cow, that'll hurt her feelings, right? And then the kid goes, but my teacher says beauty's on the inside. And then Jim Carrey's like, hey, son, that's just something ugly people say. And then he's like, ah! And then he stops himself. And then he goes, look. He begs him. He's like, I need you to do the wish just for Daddy, for my job. Mm-hmm. And he goes, okay, Dad. So he has a cake for him. He lights a candle. He goes, all right, now we're going to make an unwish. Can you do it? And he goes, he does it. He's like, I did it. He goes, excellent. Now we need a test. And then he sees a beautiful woman. So he walks up to her. And you can't hear what he's saying. He says a bunch of stuff. And she goes, and she slaps the shit out of him. And then he walks back, and the kid's like, did it work? And he goes, no, I don't think so. Did you unwish it? He's like, yeah. He goes, but what? He's like, well, yesterday, Dad, I meant it. Today, I just did it because you told me to. He goes, well, okay, do it again this time, but mean it. He goes, I can't, Dad. He goes, I don't want you to lie. He goes, son, I have to lie. Mommy lies. Even the wonderful Jerry lies. And then, bro, this shit got me. The kid goes, yeah, but you're the only one who does it. It makes me feel bad. And Jim Carrey's like, yo, I love the honesty of kids of like, yeah, okay, I get the concept of everyone lying, but no one else makes me feel like dog shit. Only you make me feel like dog shit. Aww. Fact. And then so Jim Carrey doesn't say anything. And he's like, right then the bell rings. And the teacher's like, Max, come on in. And he's like, he turns around, the kid's like, Mom says we're moving to Boston. He sounds just like the Downton thing.
He says it like that?
Just like that.
That's so fun.
We're going to Boston, And then Jim Carrey goes, well, that's not 100% yet, buddy. Well, we're going to talk about it tonight when I come over. And Max walks away all sad. He's like, I'm coming. You believe me, don't you, Max? And Max doesn't say anything. And he's like, I'll see you later, buddy. And Jim Carrey's like trying to not cry. Like, bro. And then Fletcher comes in, right? He comes into the office and he's sad as shit. And Greta's like, this such and such calls. He needs some legal advice. And Jim Carrey grabs the phone. And he's like, stop breaking the law, asshole. And he just hangs up.
Yo, that's good legal advice.
Great legal advice. So Greta's like, are you all right? And he goes, my son hates me. She goes, Max does not hate you. He loves you. You're definitely his hero. He goes, you know what he did last night? He made a wish that for one day I couldn't lie. And then she's like, kids. And she laughs. She's like, no, Greta, it came true. Max's wishes came true. And she's like, really? And then you see the partner, the lady he fucked, she's listening outside the door.
Oh.
Okay? So Greta's like, so you were incapable of lying. lying. He's like, well, just for today. It's one of those 24-hour curses. And she goes, oh, yeah, you know how those are going around. And then he's like, you don't believe me, do you? And then she's like, no, I don't believe you. And he goes, ask me something. Ask me something that you know I normally lie about. And she immediately goes, oh, okay. Remember that time I asked you for a raise? And he goes, I don't want to do this anymore. And she goes, and you said, he goes, Greta, please stop doing this. Like, he's like, and she's like, and you said the company said you couldn't do it. But then you said you would do it out of your own pocket, but the company wouldn't let you. Greta, please don't make me answer this. Now, was that true? Or did you not want to pony up the dough? Greta, please. And then he turns around, cut to, she's quitting her job.
Yo.
Like, yeah, he definitely, I love that he got all cocky and she was like,
okay. If this is true.
I have a question. I love it. I was like, oh, well, if this is true, let's play this game.
Yeah.
And then when he starts screaming, you can see her getting more confident of like, oh, he's about to, this motherfucker. So now she's packing up all of her shit. She's like, you son of a bitch. I can't believe. He's like, Greta, please don't do this, please. And she's like, you lie to me? And then she holds up this. What about this picture frame? This picture frame that when my mother passed it, you said you got to me from Tiffany's. Tiffany's. And he goes, I got it at a garage sale. I argued it down from 10 to $6. And she just throws it, right? Like, you motherfucker. And then he goes, come on, Greta, I'll give you the raise. And she's like, here's your raise, right? And then she goes to walk off. And then he's like, Greta, please don't leave. Greta. And he gets on his knees. He's like, Greta, I'm on my knees in a $900 suit. And she turns around. She's like, Mr. Reed, several years ago, my friend had a burglar on her roof. A burglar. He fell through the skylight and she had a butcher's knife on the table. He cut his leg on the butcher's knife. Now, he sued my friend. He sued my friend for that. And you know what? He won. Because of guys like you, he won $6,000. Now, is that justice?
You know what's crazy? I've heard that story like repeated by people as like a real story.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy.
And that's what she goes, is that justice? And then he goes, no. I'd have got him 10.
Ooh.
She's like, fuck you. And then she leaves, right? So right then, the partner he fucked grabs him. And she's like, come with me. He doesn't want to go. And she goes, we're going to go talk to the head boss of the whole firm.
Okay.
Mr. Allen. She's like, you worked under Mr. Allen, didn't you? And he goes, yeah. How is he? And he goes, he's a piece of shit, a geriatric asshole, this, that. He's a fart, a worthless, steaming pile of cow dung, figuratively speaking. And she goes, that's beautiful. Let's go talk to him. And she grabs him. He's like, no. And she pulls him in this office, and he's having a meeting, this Mr. Allen guy.
Oh, no.
And she goes, hey, Mr. Allen, you remember your young man, Fletcher Reed, did it, right? He's got a big case today. And then Mr. Allen goes, of course I remember you, Fletcher. I'll be observing you in court. Heard good things about you. And then Miranda goes, well, he's told me some things about you. Why don't you tell Mr. Allen what you just said about me? And he's like, well, go ahead, Fletcher. And Fletcher's like, and then he just repeats everything he said in the hallway.
Yo!
You're a piece of shit, a geriatric asshole who's over his head, who's been just always bad mood, and blah, blah, blah. A worthless, steaming pile of cow dung. Figuratively speaking. And then all the other lawyers look at the boss like, and the boss is like, and then everybody else starts laughing, right? And he goes, Fletcher, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. And then the Miranda lady's like, what the fuck, right? And he goes, you're a real card, Reed. Everybody's dying laughing. I love a good roast. Do Simmons. And then Jim Carrey goes, Simmons is old. And everybody loses their mind, right? And he goes, he should have been out of the game years ago, but he hates his wife. And everybody's like, he's like, remember the Christmas parties? She got plastered and called him a retard. Everybody's dying, right? And then he goes, what about Tom? He goes, Tom is the biggest brown nose I've ever seen. And he looks at somebody else. He goes, you have bad breath because of gingivitis. You couldn't get a porn store off. Your comb over is terrible. Loser, idiot, degenerate. And then he looks at the Miranda girl, slut. And everybody's like, And the Allen dude's like, I like your style, Reed. That's what this company needs. You know, you got the real goods. And then Jim Carrey's like, thank you. See you later, dickhead. Everybody's laughing. And then, he rips the guy's hairpiece off and throws it on the wall. And he's like, oh, and bro, everybody like falls out of their, like, people are screaming, right? Screaming. And so Sam, he goes up to the Miranda lady who's just like pissed, and he's laughing in her face like this. Like just screaming in her face. And then he opens the door and he goes outside and he just passes out in the hallway. One of the best scenes I've ever seen.
So much is happening between this morning and 1:30.
What a day. It's like Friday. It's like the movie Friday.
Yeah, this is the longest morning ever. Dude, we don't even leave the house until 1:30.
Dude, I'm not 1:30. Nigga, my day starts at 3. So, cut to the court case starts. You see Miss Cole come in with her kids. And Jim Carrey's like, you brought the kids for the divorce? She's like, yeah, for sympathy. And she winks. And he goes, well, it's working. I feel really bad for them already. God damn it.
Dude.
Because he just can't help but be honest. So, right then, they call a guy to the stand who worked for Mr. Cole.
Yes.
Okay? He's the one who took all the photos of the male visitor. They show the judge of all these different men that she's been fucking, and then they go, well, do you have any proof of what was going on during these visits? And he goes, yes, I actually made a recording of one of their sessions. And then the lawyer, and when the lawyer goes, Your Honor, under the prenup guidelines of California, if she commits adultery, she's entitled to nothing. Let's play the tape. They play the recording. She's just getting fucked. Oh yeah. Oh, do it to me. Harder, like porn sex. Harder. And then Mr. Reed stands up. He's like, oh, come on. He's like, how do we know that's not Mr. Cole himself on the tape? And then she's like, oh, you're such a better lover than my husband. And it's just that raspy voice where it's her too. And then he's like, I object. And then the Lawner's like, why? And he's like, because this devastates my case. And then the judge goes, overruled. And then they go, all right. He goes, Mr. Reed, your turn. So he walks up, and he doesn't know what to say. And Jim Carrey's like, and then he gets an idea, and he's like, Your Honor, would the court grant me a quick bathroom break? And he goes, can it wait, Mr. Reed? He goes, yes, it can, but I've heard that can lose, you can lose function of erection because of doing that. And the judge goes, really? He goes, it must be true. And the judge is like, well, maybe we all should have a quick bathroom break then. But we'll be back. Right? So like they all run out and then he sprints to the bathroom. So my nigga's peeing in the bathroom and he's like, how am I gonna get out of this? Think. And he's hitting his head on the bathroom door and he's like, think. And he's like, ow. Owie. And then he runs to the mirror and he looks at himself and this nigga punches himself in the face as hard as he can. Then he takes soap, puts it in his eyes. He tears his suit, he pulls his hair, slams his knee against the wall. A guy is watching him beat, he's just throwing trash on himself. He rolls over on the toilet, smashes his head on the toilet a couple times. And then the guy's like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, I'm kicking my ass, do you mind? Right? And then he's like slamming his body against the wall until he passes out.
Uh-huh.
Cut to, you see the judge and everybody in the fucking courtroom, they're all waiting like, what the fuck? Finally, the sheriff walks in with him and he's beat to shit. And everyone's like, oh my God. He's like, I found him, Your Honor. Somebody beat the hell out of him. And the judge is like, who did this? And he's like, a crazy man, Your Honor. A madman who's really at the end of his rope. And he's like, what did he? And the judge goes, well, what did he look like? And he was like, oh, about 6'2", 180 pounds, big teeth, kind of gangly. And he goes, like the And he goes, well, damn. Under these circumstances, I have no other choice but to postpone the case till tomorrow. And then Jim goes, yes. And then he goes, but unless, of course, you feel you can proceed, Mr. Reed. He looks up. He's like, well, can you proceed? And he's like, yes. He's like, I admire your courage, Mr. Reed. We'll take a quick recess so you can compose yourself, and then we'll start.
Yo, what? The judge wants this guy up here like this.
He's beat to shit, Sam. He's like got blood everywhere. Like
why would he even ask that if you feel like you could proceed? What the
crazy. Fuck? Also, wouldn't you want to go find the guy who just did this to him?
Yeah, it seems like he's loose somewhere in the courthouse.
He's in the courthouse. He's not far. So this nigga's laying outside on the steps, right? A woman walks up and puts money in his hand like he's homeless because he's beat to shit. He gets a call on his cell phone. Hey, Dad. He's like, Max. Hey, buddy. How's it going? And Max is like, hey, Dad, you know Paul and Emmanuel from across the street who never want to play with me? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I told him that I was playing catch with my dad tonight and you were going to be there. And now they want to play. Can they? Is that cool? He's like, of course they can, buddy. Yeah. He's like, awesome. He's like, he goes, you still going to be Jose Canseco? He's like, and he starts crying. And he goes, who else is going to hit that Nomo slider? He goes, awesome. I love you, Dad. He goes, well, I got to go. I love you too, buddy. I'll see you soon. And he hangs up. And then Max looks at his mom and he's like, he's really coming. He's really coming this time. I'm going to go get my glove. And he runs upstairs. You see Miss Cole walk up to Fletcher outside the courthouse, right? And she said, hey, this is Kevin Falk. This is the dude on the tape. And he's like, how you doing? He's like, oh, I just slipped into hell. He's like, okay. And then he goes, so what are you going to say during the court? And then he tries to lie and he like almost throws up. Yeah. Right? And he's like, oh, God, I can't even finish a question if I know the answer's a lie. Cut to them back in the courtroom, right? He's tearing his nails off. And the judge is like, Mr. Reed, you may proceed. And he's like, I call Kenneth Falk to the stand. Oh. So they go, Mr. Falk, do you know my client, Samantha Cole? And he's like, yes. He goes, and is it true that you two have never had sex? Object! And then the judge goes, are you objecting yourself? And he goes, yes, I need to rephrase the question. Is it true that you guys have never had anything intimate? Object again! And he goes, I objected, I moved to strike. And he goes, Mr. Reed, get to your point. He goes, okay, I'm trying. And then he tries to get it out and he goes, you had sex with her every time, didn't you? You did everything to her. You stuffed her like a Thanksgiving turkey. And the guy's like, yeah, fine, all right, I fucked her brains out. Is that what you want to hear? And he's like, no further questions. And he goes back to the table and he just slams his head on the desk. And the Miss Cole lady's like, what the fuck are you doing? Yo. So everyone in the courtroom is watching him. Uh-huh. And then he goes, Mr. Reed, do I dare ask you to call your next witness? And he goes, I have no further witnesses. And then she goes, you better call me. And he goes, we have nothing left. Do you understand? I can't lie. They won this. And then the other people are like, we're done. Like, we're ready for, what did they say? This is Elaine, they say. The court rests, or this side rests, or whatever. Okay, yeah. You know what I'm talking about? The line that they say? What is it?
Are we rest our case?
We rest our case. Yeah, this side rests. We rest our case, right? And so they're like, Mr. Reed, do you have anything? And then she's like, call me. And he's like, I can't lie. We're going to lose. And then she's like, I'm not going to be a 31-year-old divorcee on welfare because of you. You better call me. And then he thinks about it and he goes, 31? And then the judge goes, well, if you have no one else to call, I have to now call this case and give rights. And then he goes, Your Honor, I call Samantha Cole to the stand. He goes, Miss Cole, if you dare. So she walks up. He holds up a picture of her license. He goes, Miss Cole, is this a copy of your driver's license? And then she goes, yes, it is. He goes, it says you're a blonde. Is that true? And then she doesn't say anything. He goes, oh, maybe Mr. Falk knows. And she was like, I'm a brunette. He goes, maybe we could ask your husband. He might know. And she's like, I'm a brunette. He's like, maybe we can play the tape again. Is it on there? And then she goes, I'm a brunette. He goes, okay, thank you. And he goes, now, it says here your weight, 105. Yeah, in your bra. And she goes, it's 118. And then everybody looks at her and she's like, all right, 127. Uh-huh. Right? And then he goes, and it also says here that you were born in 1964. But that's not true either, is it? And then she goes, no. And then he goes, can you read what it says here on your birth certificate? And then he goes, it says 1965. And she goes, so let me get this straight. You lied about your age to make yourself older. And he turns around to the court and he goes, well, why would any woman want to do that? Yeah. And then she goes, I changed it so I could get married. And he goes, the truth shall set you free. My client lied about her age. She was 17 when she got married, which makes her a minor. And in the great state of California, no minor can sign a prenuptial agreement without her parents' consent. So she is entitled to all marital assets, $11.395 million. Whoa! And then he goes, Jim Carrey goes, Jordan fades back, swish, and that's the game. No more questions, Your Honor. And then everybody starts cheering, and he goes, order. And the judge is like, well, in light of this new evidence, Miss Cole, you were rewarded half the marital assets. And then everybody starts cheering, and then the big-time lawyer in the back's like, the son of a bitch pulled it off. Miss Cole walks over and starts making out with Fletcher, and he's like trying to get her off of him.
I've had better.
And then the judge goes, well, I guess since we settled it all, I understand both parents. Just one last thing. I understand both parents want joint custody. So let's sign off on that, and then we can get through. We can work together on the dates, right? And then everyone goes, like the dad says yes, her lawyer says yes, Fletcher says yes, and then Miss Cole goes, no, I want full custody. And Fletcher goes, why? And she looks at him, she goes, if I get full custody, that's another $10,000 a month for child support. The kids are like, she's like, the kids are only like 4 and 5 years old. Like, that's another how much ever grant money for this long, right? And he goes, but you just won $11 million. She's like, yeah, but you said it yourself. I'm the victim here. I'm the one who's really hurt, so I'm going to hit him where it hurts. And then Fletcher's like, but you said he was a good father. And she goes, so? And he's like, and the judge is like, Mr. Reed, do we have an agreement on custody or not? And he's like, no. And she goes, all right. Hearing that this court is adjourned, the hearing for that will be scheduled for this day. He says another date, right? The mom goes and grabs the little kid. She's like, all right, let's go. And they're like, Daddy, Daddy. And she's like, stop whining or I'll give you something to whine about. They're like, but we want to be with Daddy. And the dad runs over and he hugs both the kids. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. I love you guys. Daddy will see you soon. And she's like, give me those. They're mine now. Let go. Let go. And they're like, we want Daddy. She goes, he hasn't paid for you yet. And the dad just sits there like, and like this is because like you see Jim Carrey watch like this scene's really serious. It's like meant to be like, and the dad like falls down like you can tell he doesn't care about the money, but this is like he's like fuck, right? And then Jim is watching like, what did I just do? Yeah, right. And then the big time lawyer comes up and he goes, oh, I love children, so much leverage, right? Put it there, partner, right? And then Jim goes to shake his hand and then he pulls back and he's like disgusted, right? And he looks at the honor. He's like, Your Honor, can I approach the bench? And he's like, Mr. Reed, the case is adjourned and I am tired. He goes, but we made a big mistake. He goes, I have a headache, Mr. Reed. He's like, I know, but I wanted a technicality. This is bullshit. This isn't the right call. He goes, don't you dare in my courtroom question my orders, son, young man. Like, that's not how this works. And then Jim Carrey talks more shit and like, yeah, but we're doing the wrong thing. How can we do this to people? Like, what's wrong with us? He goes, one more outburst from you, and I'll hold you in contempt. I hold myself in contempt. Why should you be any different? And then he goes, bailiff, take him away. And he goes, wait, no, I have to play ball with my son. This is my last chance. Don't take me away. I have to play ball with my son. And they take him out the way, and then you just hear, I'm Jose Canseco. I'm Jose Canseco. Right? As he gets dragged away. So he's in jail, and as they take him into jail, he goes, I get a phone call. Where's my phone call? And he calls Audrey. And he goes, Audrey, for the love of God, please don't hang up. And then you see her look down, and the son has that face that he's been making all movie, that just heartbroken. And she goes, no, I have to go. Our flight's at 8. She goes, what? She goes, I'm taking Max to where you can't do this to me
How
anymore.
Is she getting all this moving stuff done so quickly?
No, all their planes still in the apartment. They just have their stuff.
Why are they going? Why is their flight at 8?
Well, they're going to go with him to Boston for like, I think because they said like they're just going with him to like, and then they'll move the rest. They're just going with him to like for the first. Okay. Just to go with him, while he moves in, and so, she's like, I'm taking somewhere where you can't do this to Max anymore. He's like, Audrey, I'm a changed man, I promise. All I need you to do is come to the courthouse and bail me out, $10,000. And then she's like, hangs up. Audrey! And then she leaves, right? So this nigga's in the jail cell. He's just sitting there like, he ruined it all. And then the police officer walks up. Mr. Reed, you made bail. He looks up. It's Greta. Greta!
She's the best.
He runs up and he hugs her and they walk out. He's like, how'd you know I was here? He's like, one of the other secretaries told me you lost your mind. Apparently you went all noble and like said honorable things and got fired. He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to get fired from the firm too. And he's like, got arrested. He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to get fired from the firm too. You know what? I'm going to start my own firm. I'm just a changed man. You need a job? And she's like, you can't afford me. And they laugh really hard. He's like, oh, I love you, Greta. And he goes, but now I got to go. He's like, I got to get my car. I got to go get Max. I'm going to lose him forever and I can't do that. I just love him. He's like, I love my son. She's like, go get him. He's like, I love my son. And he's just running, right? So you see Jerry see them at the airport, right? And he goes, oh my God, I'm so glad you were coming. This is the happiest moment of my life. And the mom goes, well, ours too. And you see Max is just heartbroken, obviously. And then he bends down. He's like, hey, Gipper, I got something for you. And Max is like, what? And he goes, the claw.
No.
He's like, it's the claw. It's
No.
gonna get you.
No.
It's gonna get you, huh, buddy?
Stop that, Jerry.
Gonna get you, huh, buddy? That's what I'm saying. He's Jerry. This was the most Jerry, because as Max also hates it, the mom is hating it, and he's just going,
well, why are you trying to be someone you're not?
you're not fun like that.
Being...
He likes you when y'all play catch. He likes the fun stuff y'all do. Also, you know what else? He's heartbroken right now. It's like,
you're rubbing it in his face.
It's kind of like, if I'm the kid, I'm like,
ew.
It's like, because it's like, first off, my nigga, you should know as the adult, I don't want to be with you. I want to be with my dad right now. I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do any of this. My mom is telling me, because as far as the kid's concerned, he's like, oh, dad lied to me again, but I'll keep putting up with this.
Yeah.
The mom is the one who's like, oh, we got to stop
enough
this.
Is enough.
This is just too bad. You know, this is bad. It is so damaging, because I mean, I know kids who have gone through this. It's what you do to that psyche, what you do to them for the future, for everything. It does something. Mm-hmm. So right then here, she's like, Jerry, it's fine, stop. And he's like, oh, okay. And here, Boston is now boarding. He's like, ready? Well, let's go. So we see Jim Carrey pull up, and he leaves his car, and he runs in, and he's like, what time is the flight to Boston? And the guy's like putting luggage on the thing, and he's like, oh, man, you already missed that flight. There's no way you'll get on it. He's like, the next one I think is at 10:30, and then there's another one after that, And then as he's doing this, Jim Carrey hops on, the conveyor belt? Yeah. This nigga hops on the conveyor belt and just like grabs a piece of suitcase and just goes in. Like just goes in with that shit, right? With the luggage. In the plane, you see Audrey kind of freaking out. You can tell she doesn't want to go, right? She's nervous. You see Jim pop out a luggage bag, and he looks around, and he finds the plane he's looking for, right? Max! And he starts running, and he gets on, those little trucks, the stair trucks that they have. He gets on one of those, and he starts driving. And he's like, hey! And he drives near the plane. The plane's going, bro. And he gets up on the ladder. And
how's the car still driving?
You can drive it from the top.
Yo, really?
Yeah, so he's driving from the top, and he's on the top of the ladder, and now he's by the windows, right? So you see him by the window, he's like looking in as he's going, and you don't hear it, but you see him from the inside of the plane going, Max!
Yeah.
Max! This nigga gets all the way window to window, and then you see Jerry, he looks at Audrey, and he goes, I love you, and then she spits up her drink, right?
Yo, she do not love this guy.
Sam, she goes, thank you?
Yo, she's lying.
And then he says, that's not the answer I'm looking for.
Ooh.
Which is the lamest thing in the world, you can say. Because Sam, you know what she says back to that? Thank you very much. We should get off the plane. This is bad. I know he shouldn't be around his dad, but you're right. Yeah. This is not the answer.
Is that what they say, or are you saying this?
I'm saying this.
Okay.
You're 1,000% right.
This is not the answer. You're just going to be in another bad relationship. It's just different.
Just different. I mean, at least I get that you're like, but this guy will be great to Max, because he will be, clearly.
Yeah, but
that is everything. For her, that's everything.
That is everything, but it's not everything, because it's like this problem will manifest in a different way in Max's life.
Because his mom, he'll have to be like, man, my mom was unhappy her whole life, and that'll have its own problems. And she'll cheat on Jerry a lot.
Yeah, it'll be weird.
Like, it'll just be bad. And then now you're viewing your mom, because you're like, think about this kid now who grew up like, oh, Jerry's this great guy, and my mom was cheating on him. But she doesn't realize, like, the kid, you see what I'm saying? There's so many levels of layers.
Yeah,
it's
she can't do this.
So you see, he goes, I'm sorry, was it too fast? She goes, no, it's not too fast. And then he goes, well, what is it? We can talk about it. We can change it. We can fix it. She goes, no, and then he goes, oh, it's Fletcher. And then she goes, no, it's not Fletcher. Fletcher has nothing to do with it. And he goes, no, it's Fletcher. And they both turn, her and Max, and this nigga's like, Max! Max! I made it! I'm late, but I finally made it! And then they're like, what is he doing? And the mom's like, he came to see us off. Wave. And the kid's like waving all happy. He's like, I won't let you go! I won't let you go! I love you! And then he starts driving forward, right? And he goes under the wing, and he gets to now the front of the window, and the captain's like, all right, Tower, we're about to take off. And this nigga takes his shoe and is like, stop! And he throws the shoe, and they're like, was that a shoe? And you see another shoe, and he's like, oh, God, we got some crazy idiot who's just hijacked a pair of stairs. We're stopping this plane. You see the plane stop, and he keeps driving, right? And he's like, yes! Yes! And the fucking thing hits something and sends him flying.
Yo, great.
He lands in a bunch of luggage, right? Uh-huh. And then you see him like raise his head up out the luggage, and he's got straps all on his face, and he's like, help! Help! And he passes out. Mm-hmm. So it's nighttime now. You see the plane getting unloaded, like all the people coming off. This nigga is up on a stretcher. He's got cast, like these things all on his legs, right? Like these huge things on both legs. And he's like, everybody's doing a great job. I'm proud of everyone, right? And then you see Audrey and the family walk up, and she's like, no. And they're like, man, we can't come any further. He's like, no, that's my husband. Well, ex-husband. This is his son. So, you know, that's, and then she goes, Max, stay with Jerry. And then Audrey runs up. She's like, Fletcher. And he's like, Audrey, great news. Both my legs are broken, so they can't take me straight to jail.
Yo.
And then she goes, you were out of your mind. He goes, no, I'm thinking clear. I'm thinking more clear than I've ever been. And then right then, Max walks up, and then Jerry goes, he was getting upset. I couldn't hold him any longer. Jerry's a good guy, bro. That's why it's like, man, it's really sweet moments. And then he goes, creep. He goes, hey, Dad. And he goes, oh, Max, I'm such a dope. All this time you've been here, and I could have spent all this time with you, and I didn't. I took it for granted that I could always see you and play with you. And then I found out you were going to Boston, and I thought, I won't be able to hold him anymore. Yo, Jim Carrey, bro. He's like, I won't be able to play with you. And he looks at him and he's like, I love you more than anything in the world, Max. And you know it's true. And he starts crying. He's like, I can't tell a lie. You know that's true. He goes, I'm never going to hurt you again, buddy. I promise. And then he looks at the Max and goes, Mom, he's telling the truth. He can't lie. And then Fletcher goes, oh, darn it, Max. And he looks at his watch. He's like, it's 8:45. I've been able to lie for a half hour. He goes, so you were lying, Dad? He goes, no, I want to be honest with you. I'm always forever now going to be honest with you. And then Max turns around. He's like, Mom, do we have to go to Boston? And then the mom's like, and then Jerry's like, no, Max, you don't have to go to Boston. And then Audrey's like, thank you. I told you, Jerry, you fuck with Jerry. Unlike Rick and Morty, at the end of this, you fuck with Jerry.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Rick and Morty, you're like, Jerry. It's always like, Jerry.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? And so everybody cheers, right? And he hugs Max. And then he looks at Audrey. He goes, on the other hand, I do have to go to Boston. But it's open-ended ticket if you ever change your mind. And Audrey kisses him on the cheek. And Jim Carrey's just hugging Max real tight as he just cries, right? Mm-hmm. So 1 year later. Happy birthday, dear Maximus. And they're at his 6th birthday party. But it's just the mom, him, and Max. Just them three. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday to you. All right, buddy, make a wish. And he goes, wait, hold on. Maybe we shouldn't do this. And then everybody's like, oh, come on, that was a year ago. And the mom's like, what are the odds that it happens again? He's like, okay, all right, guess you're right. All right, buddy, go ahead, Max. And Max blows the candles out and it goes completely dark in the house. And Max is like, Mom, Dad? And you hear it walk around and he cuts the lights on and they're kissing.
Ooh.
And they look at each other. And then Fletcher goes, Max, did you wish for me and your mom to get back together again? And Max is like, no, I wish for rollerblades. And then they look at each other. And then she's like, well, do you want to cut the cake, Dad? And he's like, I'd love to, but I have this horrible pain in my arm. And the kid's like, no. And he's like, And then the mom's like, run. He's like, it's the claw. No one can stop the claw. And the camera pans back. Happy music plays. Liar, liar.
Yo. That movie would be coming with the feels.
I told you.
Cried so much.
How good is it, though? It's so tight. I love.
Yeah.
This is what makes me cry. A tight movie.
Tight.
A movie as tight as Jeffrey's pussy.
Sweet and tight as Jeffrey's pussy.
Sam, I just don't understand. Hour and 27 minutes. The movie's probably only hour 20. Mm-hmm. Did you need anything else? Did you not get plenty of story?
No, I got
plenty
so
of
much
character
story.
depth.
So much depth.
And comedy.
And depth on the peripheral characters as well.
Jerry had depth.
Yep.
Greta had depth. Miranda had depth.
Yeah.
Slutty Ball. There was so much character development. Everything it's like I don't get these movies that think they have to be an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours to be funny.
Judd.
I wasn't even talking about him. I'm talking about even action comedies like Jumanji. And I love Jumanji. But why are they 2 hours?
It doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be. You can cut all this fat and be like, yo, this is why these movies are such classic and so timeless and people can watch them forever. Is bro, when it's an hour 20, people will be like, I'll stop.
The other thing is we're living in the TikTok society. Why would you even dream of making a long movie anymore?
If it's not a Marvel, because Marvel Marvel's earned our, but
Marvel is different.
You earned it.
You earned it.
Some franchises are like, if another Lord of the Rings thing came out, Star Wars stuff, certain things, the franchise is so big that we're like, all right, I'll give you 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
But there's CGI involved. Avatar.
Yeah, or the intensity of a movie. Like, I think Parasite was pretty long, but
that's fine.
But that's different. There's also kind of two movies.
Certain different, but because I'm talking about pure like actions and comedies.
Yeah.
We're not, not dramas
Pop
and things
movies.
like that. Pop movies, blockbuster movies.
Pop.
This is a blockbuster comedy. But if this came out right now, it would be a huge hit.
Yeah, this is Certified Lover Boy.
This is Certified Lover Boy. This is a certified banger. So Sam, liar, liar. We get the bloopers.
Oh, sweet! I love the '90s.
Bro, right? Also, Jim Carrey movie. You gotta show the bloopers.
Yeah.
So you see, he walks in the elevator and he just literally humps the big-titted girl, and then she starts laughing, and then he's like, "Man, if I was a boxer, I'd bounce those things like Sugar Ray Leonard." She starts laughing. And, you see,
you couldn't even riff stuff like that on a movie anymore.
No, right? Him humping her just like immediately.
Yeah, that's sexual harassment.
Even though she knew it was because it's like
it's funny.
Because for them, you get it. It's like imagine being in the actors where it's like, yo, they're doing a million takes of this.
Yeah.
So. He did these other takes, and so for him to just run in and start humping you, he knows it's gonna make everybody laugh.
Yeah,
it's because it's timing, it's context. But you're right. Now all they would do is cut that little moment and be like, "Look what he did."
Me too.
Whereas it's like, oh, but what about the context of they've been doing this scene for literally 45 minutes? He just wanted to.
Also, we're making fun of the fact that we've made you out to be just a sexy girl in the elevator.
And I'm supposed to.
That's literally, she's casted as sexy girl in the elevator.
And I'm saying crazy shit to you. That's the whole point of this scene, is that we're acknowledging that, like, oh, I can't keep my mouth shut right now.
Yeah.
So you see where he walks up to Mrs. Cole and he has a piece of paper. This is so funny. And he's like, remember like the time where he's like, just like, he can't talk. Yeah. And he grabs a piece of paper and he's like, he balls up a bunch. And then he goes, a goose. It's just a ball up. Everyone loses it. The woman goes, what about the prenuptial agreement? And he's like, prenuptial agreement. And he's dancing. And then, bro, the face control in this nigga, how many times he just kills everybody? Mm-hmm. Where it's just him murdering everybody. But at one point, the other lawyer, like, he's doing the scene, and then she goes, you overactor! And then, everyone, even Jim Carrey's like, and then he's screaming, and then he goes, and then everybody's laughing, and he goes, oh no, they're on to me. And then it fades to black. Liar, liar. What'd you think?
Oh, dude, that was dope.
Liked it?
I liked it a lot. I was worried that halfway through it, I'd realized I'd seen the movie before. I've never seen that movie before. That was amazing.
We've talked about it, and when I was telling you about it once, that's when I realized you had, because I was like, what do you mean you haven't seen Liar, Liar?
But there's lots of times I think I haven't seen a movie, and then we'll start watching it, and I'm like, oh, I've seen this before.
Yeah, I feel that. You've seen The Truman Show, right?
I have seen The Truman Show.
Yo, this boy can act.
Yo, he can act.
This boy Jim Carrey?
Yo, he can act.
This boy Jim Carrey?
Yeah. Did you just...
I farted. But this boy Jim Carrey can act, bro.
I hope they heard that.
Hopefully they heard the fart too.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. Yo, he is real deal. Like, I can't wait, because you can tell he's just taking a break from everything. But I can't wait, because eventually he's gonna hit another point in his career where like Tarantino and like Scorsese are like, hey, can you come do this part? Mm-hmm. Like, not even a full part, but just like, those kind of guys' movies. Like, we're like, hey, I need you in a bit part. Scorsese and.
Oh, like
Jordan Peele, maybe. I like in Inglourious Basterds, Mike Myers.
It's exactly what I was thinking.
I can't wait for Jim to hit that point in his career, because right now he's just taking a break. I get those guys. I get Mike Myers and those guys, because I was too famous. I was Austin Powers. I was Shrek. I needed to take a break for a while, and now I can just come back and
remember who I am.
Yeah, I want to just breathe for a second, and I'm sure Jim Carrey's saying, because those guys Adam Sandler's different, bro. Adam Sandler's built different.
I think also Adam Sandler.
He makes the projects, which is different. He's not being asked to be anything. He's being himself. He's asking himself, what do I want to do? And I'm gonna put my friends in it. Whereas Jim Carrey and Mike Myers, not that they couldn't do that, but it's like, it'd be hard because you didn't build a production company since 1990.
Yeah.
This dude's he's been making all of his own movies since 1999. It's 2021. So he's set this. It's like Joe Rogan with the podcasting.
Yes.
It's like he got there first.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think there's something more to be said about, I would say, Jim Carrey comedically as an actor is more, well, that's not true, because Adam's really grown over the last.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Adam proved.
But originally, Jim Carrey is sort of such a big presence as an actor. I don't know if he'd have the energy to put into all the stuff that Adam was doing. Whereas Adam sort of grew as he was creating his own
Adam grew as
stuff.
both. Adam grew as a businessman and as an actor at the same time. It wasn't like he stopped acting. Like as a director, producer, all that, writer of movies, he was doing it all at once. Mm-hmm. So he's been just growing, like you say, like he's just been growing at all those things the whole time. And
Adam seems to have a very like certainty about who he is. Just as a person. I mean, I don't know him, but just how you see him dress, like, you know, he dresses the way
he knows who he is.
He knows he's very confident with who he is. And I think Jim Carrey, I mean, we've seen the movie about the documentary about the
unbelievable movie about Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, he's a little bit more Man on the Moon. The art affects him more.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe Mike Myers is like that too. You know, but
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's different for everyone, and it's a spectrum.
But I understand, you know, those guys have all hit a level of fame in comedy where it's just Will Ferrell, where it's got you know Eddie Murphy is just godlike. It's like as far as their comedy movies, Bill Murray. I mean, but these people are up there with those names. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eddie Murphys and the Bill Murrays. I put Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell. I put them up there with those guys. Yeah, they have earned it. They have the credentials speak for them. The amount of hits speak for themselves. Yeah. You know? This is just one of Jim Carrey's, I mean, countless blockbuster comedies.
So many.
That are good, that are also, like I said about this was a good movie. This wasn't just funny. This was well acted. This was everything. So, man, Jim Carrey, bro. If I say Eddie Murphy's the GOAT, but if you say Jim Carrey's the GOAT, I'm not mad at you. If you say Adam Sandler's the GOAT, I'm not mad at you. And then sometimes I say Will Ferrell's the GOAT.
I still think Will Ferrell's the GOAT.
I think Will Ferrell's the GOAT, but just Eddie Murphy's his run was so long. That's what makes it. Eddie Murphy's run was, and then of course there's people that were not having said Steve Martin. You got to throw in this conversation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's people that you have to at least put them in the conversation. Yep. You know, I'm sure I'm leaving somebody else. I said Bill Murray.
Oh, Bill Murray is also
Steve Martin.
Bill Murray has a very similar kind of vibe to Jim Carrey in that he did these big comedic things and then like really threw himself into drama in other ways.
And then other different weirder projects too. Yeah. Yeah. I would say Bill Murray, Jim Carrey's a lot more like Bill Murray. But I mean what makes Eddie Murphy special is there's no one like Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy. There's no one I can compare him to.
Yeah. Well, Sam, because nobody's the most famous man on the planet at 21 and at 50. Yeah. That's what makes him like nobody's the most famous man on the planet at 21 and 50. You're already the most famous man on the planet at 21? At 21 years old, you're the most famous man on the planet. He was. And he was the biggest and best comic on the planet. Like he was all the things, and he was a movie star. He had already he was the best
all
SNL
at once,
character.
Yeah.
It was all at once, and it was all in between the ages of 18 and 21. And then by the time he's 21, he just went to even another stratosphere. You know, just because he kept putting out hit movies. But yeah, I don't know. Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. Oh, there's people. Even I always those guys feel like that I don't put what
Chevy Chase is like Ryan Reynolds before Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
they play very similar kind of comedic roles.
Yeah, because Chevy's funnier.
Chevy is funnier. I think Chevy
a better actor and can do action and stuff.
That's true. Different qualities, but they both tend to play a Ferris Bueller type character. You know what I mean? Well, like he's kind of a cocky asshole, but we love him.
Yeah, but they both play the same kind of comedy. Yeah, kind of. When they both play the same character a lot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I wouldn't put Chevy Chase and those guys up there with Eddie Murphy's, the Will Ferrell, like what we're talking about, the Adam Sandler, the Jim Carreys. That's just this is a different breed. This is a different level of talent. It's just talent. It's just pure talent.
And also commitment to the game.
Yeah, in the craft.
Yeah, be more maybe in love with it than. I don't know. I don't really know them.
Natural abilities are a thing too.
Yeah,
it's pure natural funny. Natural abilities, natural funny, natural gifts, natural likability, natural just charisma on camera, natural look on camera. There's a million factors. It ain't just being funny. It's how do you look on camera? You know what I'm saying? Like
but so like all those guys that we just said are like that are the top of that. Besides Eddie Murphy, none of them are really hot. Like they don't look. Like you don't look at Will Ferrell and be like, he's gonna look good on camera.
Jim Carrey looks good.
Jim Carrey does look good.
He looks good on camera.
He does look good on camera.
He's tall, he's long. Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler, they're different. Though young Adam Sandler look great on camera.
Adam Sandler
grew into his self.
Yeah.
Like we grew with him. Mm-hmm. And then Eddie Murphy is just a good looking guy. But Will Ferrell's definitely a breaker of the mold of like, oh, okay.
But he's interesting to see on camera because he's so Jack Black.
Jack Black's another. I was thinking of other comedian actors that are unbelievable that we don't give. I don't know if I put Jack up there with them, but he is like, I mean, just a step below.
Yo, Jack is really good because when we watched
Seth Rogen's up there with him too. Seth Rogen is up there with him.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in the Will Ferrell category. But
I do.
He's
done enough.
You think he's in the Will Ferrell?
He's done enough. If we started listing Seth Rogen hits too,
hit wise. But if
going.
you put Will Ferrell and Seth Rogen on screen, who's gonna be cracking you up more in the room? On screen.
On the movie.
I don't know.
Yo, Seth Rogen is so funny in every single thing he's in.
Seth Rogen is so funny. But Seth Rogen
he's not as funny as Will Ferrell.
Seth Rogen always plays the same part. Will Ferrell can play so many different parts and do them funny both, all by still being like the essence of Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell's
He's
better.
really, really special.
Will Ferrell is better, but I do put Seth Rogen up there with those guys.
Yeah.
He is special.
Yeah, he's special.
Because Seth Rogen, like Adam Sandler, writes and directs. Like he's a part of the movie. So I give that. It
is something else.
You have to give them that. But I do feel you. Because it's like, is Adam Sandler as funny as Will Ferrell? I don't think so. But
I don't think Adam Sandler, if I was really going to say like the top comedic actors ever, I would say
Will, Jim, Eddie.
Yeah,
Eddie, Jim,
Will, Jim, and Eddie.
I don't know how to put. I don't know how to rank them three in order.
But I can't think of anyone who would be who's as funny as those three in general.
Yeah,
and like who you want to see bloopers for.
Jack Black is funny though.
Jack Black is really
Jack
funny.
Black.
I don't feel like Jack Black makes the same decisions. Jack Black didn't just want to do comedic acting. You see him.
Jack Black's an actor.
He does a very wide range of stuff.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think his choices are as good as theirs in some ways.
Not all the time, but he hits a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if we went through Jack Black's hits, it's pretty.
He's got lots of hits, but.
Even the new movie, the two new Jumanjis, he murdered.
Well, in the new Jumanjis, he does really murder.
So
but he doesn't get to be the star in the movie.
But I think that's the point of that one. He steals the movie.
Of course.
That was the point of that one. Is that he gets to be the John Cena of the Suicide Squad.
But like, I guess I'm saying, like, if you look at Will Ferrell, Eddie Murphy, and Jim, they all had this era of like, not only am I the funniest guy, I am like the leading man in all these films.
And I'll play different characters, different role in the film. And then Adam is like, if they're the top three, Adam's 4.
Well, because also Adam's like, maybe there isn't this, maybe no one else wants to give me this space, but I deserve it, so I'm going to make the space for myself.
Yeah,
which makes it even more exciting.
And you can't tell me I'm not up there with
Yes.
And then also, it's like, but even before he was making his own movies, I mean, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, these are hit.
So good.
There's a reason he got his own movies.
Good.
There's
of course.
Reason, you know? I mean, he wrote those movies, but he wasn't making them yet.
You know, I am an Adam Sandler
fanatic.
I love Adam.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
But that. I guess if I'm saying like, honest to God, best to ever do the comedic acting, it's Will, Jim, Eddie.
And I don't know how you rank them though. Probably Eddie 1, maybe Eddie 1, maybe Will 1, maybe Jim. It's which movie did I watch most recent? That's the best one.
And there's all these guys who had never got the chance to be like the lead, or like they did, but not in as big of things. Like what's his face? We were just watching This Is the End. Danny McBride. Or so funny, and he has been the lead in things, but never as big of projects as those.
James Franco's funny too.
Yeah, James Franco's funny.
Yeah, that nigga's hilarious, bro. Every time he's in a comedic thing, he delivers.
He does deliver.
He delivers. He never doesn't deliver. He's such a great actor that I get it.
Or John C. Reilly.
Oh my God! Also, just like James Franco was, I mean, they're such great actors that it's.
They're such great actors. They can do it all.
Mm-hmm. But when I think of Franco, when I think of Reilly, I think of Reilly. I think of his comedic first. I think of Step Brothers. I think of Talladega Nights. It's like you know what it's like. It's like Dumb and Dumber. The other Jeff.
Yeah, he's great.
But he's just like John C. Reilly. His serious acting is unreal.
His serious acting, he's probably done more of it.
It is, but when I think of him, I think of Dumb and Dumber.
I think of Dumb and Dumber too. Also, you know what else I think? You've never seen Fly Away Home, have you?
No, I've seen 101 Dalmatians. He's funny in that too. He's the dad.
Oh, he is.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen that?
The one with Glenn Close?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I didn't realize he was dad. It just blew my mind.
He's the main guy in that. He knows how to be funny.
This isn't going to spoil Fly Away Home, but there's a scene in the beginning where he runs out in his underwear, and every time it makes me laugh. Are you going to fart again? It's classic. You think farts are funny, Deric?
I like farts.
We're going to have to move out of this house. You farted so much in it.
And I'm sorry, what were you saying about the fly women?
I don't know. We were going to talk. We could go all day about who's the funniest and doesn't get recognized as much.
But we'll save it for another episode. I'm glad to be back, Bean Mafia. We're glad you're back. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. Sam, thanks for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Had a lot of fun with you, baby.
I love you.
You're the best. I love you too. I love the Bean Mafia.
I love you.
We love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for rocking with us. Thanks for fucking supporting me. Thanks for just showing me all this love. You guys have showed so much love, and I know we're not doing the paid things anymore, but I do appreciate y'all. Like, we'll do them again. We'll do them again at some point just for fun. Because it's fun to let y'all pick the episodes too. So it'll definitely be done again. But for now, everybody else will catch on up. And Bean Mafia, we back, baby.
We back.
See y'all next week. See you on Monday. Beep, 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 beep.